From the greatest sports town in modern history, New York City. Welcome to the most exhilarating sports talk on YouTube today. The Entertainer, talking sports. So mute your device, dial your phone, and prepare yourself for the pinnacle of sports talk on YouTube. The Entertainer, talking sports. Monday nights, only on YouTube.
Don't even have the number posted yet. Guys, hold on. Hold on. I haven't even shown my face yet. What's going on, everybody? Hello, what's going on? Who's this? Hello? You hear me?
Hey, hold on, I got you. It's Steven Evans.
Steven Evans. I love Steven Evans. Could not even wait for me to post it on. What's up, buddy? How you been, buddy?
My main man, what's going on, Marcy? What's going on with you, boss?
Same day. Same thing, different day. Talking New York Giants on YouTube with some of my best subscribers, including yourself. How you been, buddy?
I'm well. Listen, thank you for asking. Listen, I just happened to be scrolling through my YouTube. I wasn't even expecting you this evening, so I don't have anything, prepared to talk about. I just wanted to be annoying and try to be the first call and show my support.
Listen, man, you're never annoying, man. You're one of my best, man. Always love talking to you. You always bring a lot to the table. So what do you think about free agency coming up? What are you looking for? Who do you want for the Giants?
Man, there's a lot going on. That Yannick and Ngakoue situation with the Jaguars and how they kind of they re-signed him and then traded him. Is that what happened?
They haven't traded him. They franchise tagged him. So basically, his rookie contract was. All the teams doing it nowadays. They signed him to a 1-year contract rather than letting him hit the open market, and now they're looking to trade him if a team presents him with the right price.
Got you. And listen, if we get the Espinosa kid from, I guess it's Iowa, in the second round, and also get my man from Ohio State, in the first round, I'm not opposed going back-to-back picks on that defensive line, from the rush in position. I feel like for the most part, we're pretty set with the interior defensive lineman. But if we can get a talent like Espinosa and my man from Ohio State all in the same draft, I wouldn't be upset with that, even though I think I would prefer to have Becton from Louisville. I really do feel like a year or two of coaching him up, getting him low with his knees and teaching him better how to use his arms and so on and so forth. You can't teach, 6'7", 370 or whatever he is. So that's kind of who I have my eye on for the first round anyway.
That seems like most Giants fans, at least at this point in time, if they're people that value the offensive line over the defense, it seems like it's either Becton or Wirfs. Everybody was really impressed with Wirfs' combine. I'm still in favor of trading down if the right deal presents itself, because I still think you could get one of those top offensive linemen and you get more assets. Or you stand pat and take Isaiah Simmons. I think that's what we're looking at, or Okudah. I think that's what we're looking at right now in the first round. Unless we trade back even further than most people expect. But I agree with you. I think if you ask me right now, I would say if we're going offensive line and we're staying at 4, I think we're either going to take Wirfs or Becton. And if Isaiah Simmons is there and we're not going offensive line, I think we're going to take Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this draft in particular is pretty deep if you have the eye for him at quite a few positions, wide receiver, and I also believe defensive line are chief among them, right? But for me, I actually heard a quote I was working the other day, and I had, some NFL crap playing in the background, something that the NFL did about the worst draft day trade type of deals. And one of the things that stuck out to me was hearing about how Bill Walsh, the old 49ers coach, the way he would draft is he wouldn't necessarily look at the talent at whatever pick, whatever round. He would look at who he think would benefit most after a year or two of NFL level coaching, right? And so I feel like if there are any question marks on Becton from Louisville, listen, left tackles don't come along every year. They're very hard to get in free agency, as you know.
Yep.
And they're definitely not built like this kid. So if you tell me that we have a chance to get him, and after a year or two of coaching, he would be what we all would hope and dream he would be at his size, I have a hard time passing that up, Marcy.
I'll tell you what, man. I completely agree with that. And Cesar, I'll get to that in a second. I completely agree with that. Offensive lineman, if you look historically, and I've tried to, this has been my argument for taking an offensive lineman this offseason, because even though I mocked Isaiah Simmons, I still want to take the offensive lineman. I just think at this point in time, if you ask me, I think they're going to go Simmons. But I do think it's very hard to find a top-tier offensive lineman in free agency. As a matter of fact, it's damn near impossible. And us as Giants fans should know that better than anybody, because when teams find a supreme left tackle, they don't let them get away. It just does not happen unless they have an injury history like Jack Conklin, who's obviously a right tackle. Right. I agree with you. I am in favor of taking the left tackle. I just think I'm not going to cry if we get Isaiah Simmons. The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to realize that I think the linebacker position is one of the least appreciated positions in all of football. I think it's completely it's so undervalued. Especially in today's game, the linebacker position, when you could cover like Simmons or Corey Littleton, it might be the most important part of a defense right now to have that flexible linebacker. So I certainly get where Giants fans are coming from that want to take Isaiah Simmons, but I'm still in favor of taking the tackle.
And listen, as you know, I feel like teams around the league saw us as red meat, green light, go. Anytime there was a third and however long situation, just about going smooth over that middle. It was embarrassing. It was repetitive. And it had you, me, fucking Bad Dog pulling out whatever hair we have left, fucking with that shit every week. And it's just incredible. One last thing, though. One of the main reasons I'm so big on the left tackle and just offensive line unit as a whole is because, when I was growing up, you build your team from the inside out, from front to back, and that's the one thing that I can get on board with Gettleman about, and that is, hey, listen, let's get those mollies, them hog mollies together. Let's get the trenches solidified, and everything else, more so than not, will fall into place after that. And for me, the offensive line, right? Stay with me. The offensive line is the only unit on the football team that can positively affect the other side of their team's football, right? The offensive line can positively impact the defense as a unit just by eating up the clock. Not many other units can kind of reinforce or supplement a whole nother unit on a whole nother side of the ball the way a dominant offensive line can. And I really, really, really wish to see our football Giants with a dominant offensive line, because I feel like the other pieces would fall into place much more easier. And I'll leave you with this. I'm big on Antonio Gandy Golden.
Yeah, you are. And by the way, what you just said, you're preaching to the choir. I say that all the time. A strong offensive line makes a defense a lot better than what it really is. I completely agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And listen, my last guy, my last sleeper is my man Denzel Mims out of Baylor. I'm telling you, I've been looking at film on him. Not just because he had the third fastest 40 time at the combine, but I'm telling you, Marcy, he may be the still the job. I'm telling you.
No. I agree with you. I had Mims going in the back end of my first round. He had a ridiculous combine. Right. I think he's going up. If the Giants want him, I think they got to take him round 2. But Gandy Golden, I think, could be a 4th round target for the Giants. He's one of the guys. Right. He's one of the guys I have circled as a potential 4th round candidate for the Giants.
You son of a bitch, Marcy. I swear to God, if we draft Antonio Gandy Golden, I want just you to say how awesome Steven Evans is and how he needs a channel of his own.
I'll be the first to tell you were the first one to put me on to Gandy Golden. That's the truth.
Appreciate that, man. Listen, get to the rest of your calls. As always, Ben's and Knees gang, man. I'm going to definitely be listening. And as always, I'm a supporter.
All right, Evans, man. Thanks for the love, buddy. All right, 1 second. Just want to read Cesar Munoz's super chat. Cesar Munoz with the $5 super chat. What's up, Tana? Sorry, it's been a while. While since I've tuned in, life gets in the way, but it's always great seeing your face. Stand up. I appreciate that, Caesar, man. No, are you kidding me, man? You guys all show me so much support that you never have to apologize, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. And what's going on? Who's this?
Albany, New York. This is Greg. What's going on, Chris the Entertainer? Great job as always. How you doing?
I appreciate that, Greg, man. What's up, buddy?
Okay, listen. This is going to be probably like an all-time shortest call. You're going to see why. Listen. The potential for what we can do with the linebacker core, I'm reading, have Giants want offense. They want to protect Jones. I'm watching these YouTube videos. Follow me now. I'm watching Gary Reasons, Carl Banks, LT, Harry Carson. I'm going old school.
Right.
I'm from the 80s, baby. All right. I want to see, in no way am I comparing these names to who I'm going to say next, but I want to see Corey Littleton. I want to see Isaiah Simmons, who's a freak of nature. He can probably play about 5 different positions at the defensive line. And I want to see Van Noy on a 2 or 3 year deal. Van Noy from New England, who's been lobbying to go to New York. And then have Conley come back, and then they compete. At least teams, they have the Zeke, they have AP, and then you got, who's Washington, Dallas,
Eagles.
Philadelphia. Who they got?
They got Sanders. They drafted last year.
I want them in fear. Is my point that I'm telling you. When they see that linebacking core, I want to take it back to the '80s. I just want to let you know that I want them to fear us.
Listen, man.
The MetLife Stadium.
I think there's a lot of Giants fans who share your mindset. I don't know if they would go that much over the top in terms of spending the resources, but there's a lot of Giants subscribers on my channel that say we need to get back to the days of the Crunch Bunch. And listen, man, I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I definitely think we need to put much more of an emphasis on the linebacker than we have in the past. That's for damn sure. And as I was just saying to my previous caller, I think the linebacker position is the most undervalued position in football right now. You take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers had arguably one of the best defenses in football last year. They had 3 great linebackers. They build their team around the linebackers, something the Giants have not done in a while. So Littleton is near the top of my list. I would love to get Corey Littleton because he's
maybe I'm a little excessive with the defense. It's not to interrupt you, Chris, but it's just looking at this and what it's become. I know it's a clean slate. It just makes me dream for those days where nobody wanted to run against us. We put them in fear, man.
I agree with you, man. I would love to get back to those days. I just personally think we need to pay attention to both sides, but I definitely think we need to put an emphasis on the linebacker position, whether it's in the draft or heavy in free agency. I personally think if you ask me today, I made my mock. I had them taking Simmons, but if you ask me, without knowing what they're going to do in free agency, I made that mock. I think they're going to pay a lot of attention to defense in free agency. I still think in the back of my mind after free agency, they're going to set it up to take the offensive tackle. I could be wrong, but regardless, if they go offensive tackle in the first or they go linebacker in the first, they need to address the linebacker position, whether it's in free agency or in the first round of the draft. I completely agree with that.
All right, listen, keep up the great work. I'm going to sign up in one of those higher tiers in the next week or so. Go New York Giants 2020. I really like Joe Judge. God bless. Have a good weekend.
I appreciate the love, man. Thanks for the call, man. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, it's Clocks.
Clocks, what's up, buddy? How you been?
What's up, pal? Have a great weekend this weekend. Any chance you're watching I know you're not a fan, but I know you went to your brother's house for the fight. Are you going to tune into the MMA fight tomorrow night?
I work till 11. I'm assuming
Okay.
I'm assuming the main event goes till probably at midnight. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe. Yeah, I watched the boxing match. The boxing match was terrific, and I heard they're gonna have a rematch.
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna have a rematch possibly.
Yeah, they already signed. Wilder already exercised his rematch clause for a third fight. So anyway, just wanted to start that off. Chris, I got a trade and I got an observation.
Go ahead.
Okay, the trade. You got 2 players that have fallen out of love with their team. So tell me what you think about this trade, because I love the play that we would get. Evan Ingram, who I can't stand, and a draft pick to Tampa for O.J. Howard, who's also fallen out of favor with Arians. He had his least amount of targets in 3 years on a team that's pass happy. He had his least amount of targets last year. And there's already rumors that, the Buccaneers are secretly shopping him. I would love this beast. 6'6", phenomenal hands, everything that Ingram doesn't have. All Ingram has is breakaway speed, but I can't stand Ingram. What do you think about that trade?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't done. I mean, I know O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard, I think, was a former first round pick, just like Ingram,
Yes.
Ingram was at the tight end position. I don't know the contract details to O.J. Howard. Was he third year in the league coming up?
Third year, and he was the 19th pick 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man. I've been in favor. You know, some people might not like hearing it, because I think a lot of people love Evan Ingram, and I do think Evan Ingram could have a really good year for the New York Giants if he could stay healthy in this offense. But
Okay.
I just don't think he will. But the thing with Evan Ingram, and I would be in favor of trading him, but I don't think anybody's going to want to trade for him right now due to the fact that he's still in a walking boot, and he's not going to be ready until training camp at the earliest. So I think it's going to be hard to trade Ingram before the season starts. If they're going to trade him, I think that you want to try to get a good 6 to 8 week stretch out of him, and if the team's not doing so well, that's when you make the move.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. The reason why I fell out of love with Ingram is I cannot stand players that have 3 drops a game, or they're down by 21 or 23 in the fourth quarter. They make a catch and they almost want to take their helmets off and like celebrate. And I just can't stand people like that. I long for the days of Barry Sanders, who just dropped the ball in the end zone, shook his offensive lineman's hands. I long for the days. Saquon is total class. You've never seen a guy more class than Saquon when he runs in. But the bottom line is, I just can't stand this guy. Here's my observation. We both know, and this is just an observation, and I agree with you that I think there's 0% chance of this happening, but it's just an observation.
Mm-hmm.
We both know the Giants need to have a backup quarterback, correct?
Oh, yeah. I don't feel comfortable with the guy we got right now, yeah.
Okay. What I thought was interesting, and just tell me about it, just interesting, like I said, 0% chance it's going to happen. It's just an observation. Tom Brady has a house in Greenwich. He just bought a mansion, and he has an apartment on the west side of Manhattan. Isn't it just interesting that the Giants haven't addressed the backup situation before this Tom Brady situation gets rectified? I'm not saying I agree with 100% with you, 0% chance, but having the ties with the Patriots, isn't it just a little bit interesting?
Well, I don't know this. I would assume the reason he has the apartment in Manhattan is because of his wife. She's a model, right? She probably.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that's why he probably has the apartment in Manhattan. Yeah, I mean, I get why the rumors have come about because Joe Judge is from the Patriots and everything. I don't see. It's not going to happen. If they're going to bring in a backup quarterback, they're going. In my opinion, I would bring a backup quarterback via free agency. I would look for a veteran, like I've said, someone like Chase Daniels, someone like Glennon. Tom Brady.
Yeah, even Fitzy. No, I totally agree with you. I just, like I said, 0% chance it's going to happen. I just thought it's kind of interesting because the coach basically said he wants open competition at all positions. I don't even know if he actually really came in and endorsed Daniel Jones. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. Like I said, I totally agree with you. I just thought, it's something that I think we just sort of solidified already. Like, get the backup in because our backup stinks. There's so many people out there, and that's all. I mean, I just thought it was kind of interesting that they're still waiting when we have so many other things to really attack.
Yeah, well, I think that'll be one of the holes they fill in free agency. They could draft a quarterback late in the draft to be a backup, but I don't see that happening. I think that they'll probably add a veteran in free agency. But we'll have to wait and see. As far as Brady goes, I'm still kind of leaning he's going to stay in New England, but he certainly could test the waters and end up with the Raiders or the Chargers. I would say those are the two favorites if he leaves the Patriots.
Okay. And the last thing I want to say is that I commented on one of your videos. I said, Chris, if you had to rate Okudah as a defensive back 1 to 10, and if you had to rate Simmons as a linebacker 1 to 10, and you basically said you gave them both a 9. Now, all I know about Okudah is what you told me, that he hasn't had a holding or defensive penalty the entire year. I really don't know. I know nothing about college players this year, but I do. I'm assuming that he's not that lockdown cover corner. And you also said that Simmons is the type of guy that just is really good at many things, but he's not great at anything. Even though for a linebacker with his size, he's probably excellent in defensive coverage. Which is, I just don't. When you're drafting 4. I just, I want somebody who's excellent in something. I want the Boses of the world. I want the Myles Garretts. Mm-hmm. I want the guys that, I want those type of players. I don't want a guy who's I don't care about the philosophy of the coach. I don't want a guy who's just good at everything, is just going to stay on the field. That's not my type of guy. When you're drafting this high, and hopefully we don't draft this high again for a long time, I just want somebody who's great. Although we just got to get out of the pick, Chris. We just got to get out of this pick.
We'll see. It's going to come down to if they feel that way. If they feel Simmons is going to be a game breaker, they'll probably take him if they don't address linebacker in free agency. But listen, I've been saying for a while, if the right deal presents itself, I'm completely for trading down, getting more assets, and filling in the offensive line, which I think is still, in my opinion at least, the biggest hole that needs to be filled. But
all right, buddy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the call, man.
Have a great weekend.
You too, Clucks. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Going on, entertainer.
What's up? Who's this?
This is August.
What's up, buddy? Thanks for the call, man.
First of all, I want to take out the time to appreciate you. You do this every day. You're grinding, and people out here do pay attention to what you're doing.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to talk about 2 quick topics, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Free agency. I do believe it's against a lot of people's wishes, but we need to go after Clowney. And I will say why.
Yeah, I listen, man. I don't think you're crazy for saying that, but I'm waiting to hear why. I'm waiting to hear why.
Everybody wants to go after Byron Jones, and what's the point of investing big money on the cornerback if we still can't get pressure on the quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like average NFL plays run between 2 to 4 seconds. We have the elite athletes in the world playing wide receiver. No matter how good you are as a cornerback, eventually they're going to get wide open. That's why we need to get pass rushers. We get Clowney. Everybody says, oh, he doesn't get the sacks. That's fine, but he still batted balls. Quarterback hits. All that stuff matters. Now you got 2 guys that are going to be up and coming. Zimenez, Lorenzo Carter. People want to put big money into the kid from Jacksonville. He was a 3rd-round pick also. Now, if you have somebody like Clowney, and people game scheme around Clowney. People are not going to game scheme around Marcus Golden. The 10 sacks are 10 sacks. But what else does he do in the game?
No, to me, and some people may just look at the sack numbers and they'll say, well, Marcus Golden got more sacks. I don't even think they're on the same planet. I think Jadeveon Clowney is a much better player than Marcus Golden. And I like Marcus Golden. I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney's elite, but I do think, and ESPN actually came out with an article about this today. I said it a couple of days ago. I do think he fits the scheme perfectly. I do. I think he could play on the inside. I think he could play on the outside. I think he could play at the outside linebacker. I think he's athletic enough to drop back in coverage if need be. I do think Clowney fits what we're looking to do. I still am of the mindset I'd probably try to bring in a veteran guy like Van Noy, develop the guys we have. But if they're going to spend big, if I had to pick a guy, I'd probably go Clowney. If I had to pick a guy because first of all, the other guys are going to be tagged. Judon's going to be tagged. Ngakoue's been tagged. Most of the other edge rushers are going to be tagged, so you'd have to trade to acquire them. So if I was going to bring in a premier pass rusher, if I was a GM and you told me you have to bring in a premier pass rusher, Clowney's probably the guy I would choose.
Dude, you think about it. The whole notion of you got a quarterback in his rookie deal. That's the whole model everybody has. You're allowed to splurge now while you can. I will be 100% everybody against Clowney if you already had Eli on the books for $25-30 million. It makes no sense. But now is the time to splurge. Now is the time to still build organically, but at the same time have, and like he's a game wrecker. We already saw what he did against the Eagles. That's another thing. I would love to have Clowney just to piss off Eagles fans. That would be great.
I think that it's not the word. I think I wouldn't be, like I've said the whole time, I wouldn't be against signing one big guy. I do not agree with the approach of splurging on 4 players and giving them all, 3 or 4. It has to be incremental. That way you always have salary cap space to be able to retain the players that you've drafted. Because if you spend, like we did in 2016, and you have 3 guys committed to 5-year deals, how are you going to extend Saquon Barkley? How are you going to extend Daniel Jones? So I believe in incremental spending in terms of a big contract, but I don't believe in three in the same season.
Yes, that's why my second target would be Joe the Show.
Who? Oh, Joe Schobert. Joe Schobert, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be priced under Littleton, the other big guys. How many times we saw the Giants last year? There was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. They played tough to run. 3rd and 9. You think, we're going to get a good stop. And no, we get killed by a tight end. We get killed by the slot receiver.
Yeah.
Like it happened especially the Packers game, 3rd and 17. We get killed all the time in 3rd down.
It's every game. It's the Chicago Bears. It's the Packers. It was every game. We were getting killed. They'd put him in the slot. Schobert's actually underrated in coverage. He's actually a pretty good coverage linebacker.
Yes. I would target him out right away. Get him off the market because once these other guys get signed, his price is just going to go up. People know about him, but they don't really know about him yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think he's going to go. He's definitely going to go for less than Littleton. And we'll see. If you could get him on a 3-year deal, absolutely. I'd be for it. I think he's a good linebacker. I think he's a bit underrated. To me, it all depends on the price, but he's definitely a guy you want to keep an eye on. I have read that he's leaning towards Green Bay, but who knows? That was from a Green Bay website, so who knows where his mind is at. He played at Wisconsin. That was the thinking behind it. But if we get Joe Schobert for the right price, I'm all for it.
Now, my last point about the draft. If it is true, even though I do believe you always draft a quarterback no matter what's out there, Gettleman showed you he took Daniel Jones over Josh Allen no matter what we all say.
Oh, man.
You really think Dwayne Haskins on the same stratosphere as Tua? If his
no. Oh, no. I do not think he's on the stand. And you know what? Maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit when I'm saying what I'm saying. But no. Haskins, okay. We all know, and I like Haskins. I think he's got good upside. But we all know why Haskins came out last year, because he knew Burrow, Tua, all these other talented quarterbacks were going to be in this draft. He knew he'd be a second-round pick. He's not as good. He's not as good as a healthy Tua. We all know that. But the question is, the Redskins have an opportunity here to draft the cream of the crop, an elite pass rusher. Do they do? What do they decide to do? Because they already have a quarterback that they could try to develop, or they could start from scratch again, and maybe that's what they elect to do. Because maybe
the defensive line wasn't that bad.
Well, yeah,
think about it. They got the kid. They got the kid from the 49ers that got suspended, and then they picked him up on a flyer. They got Sweat. Their front seven wasn't bad. It's not out of the realm of possibility that let's go maybe get let's go get a legit quarterback. Like, you always get the quarterback before anything else, because you can have a great defense and you can the quarterback play just dictates so much in the NFL. But if they do get Chase Young, the Giants have to go get Becton. And I say this because you need somebody that's going to block those elite pass rushers, not only from Dallas, but the Redskins and the Eagles. Becton, to me, we have the perfect model to bring him in. Nate Solder's about the same size as him. And all I keep reading is that Becton's hands are his biggest weakness.
Yeah, yes, he doesn't get extension on his arms. Yes.
So get Nate Solder in here. Break Becton in, learn off of Nate Solder for the year, because I don't see Nate Solder picking up his play, and we can kind of bring him in the system. And let me ask you this: if you are a cornerback in the NFL, and you went over this with the Era Coryell system, and they love to do those screen passes, what man in their right mind is going to get in front of a Mekhi Becton running 5'1" down the field for blocking for Saquon Barkley, but all that guy needs a little bit of space, and he's gone. You have to go get this. Are you gonna? If you was you're a linebacker. You're 6'4", 250. You're still gonna get in front of that man?
I tell you what, man. Most Giant fans seem to be very, very much in love with Mekhi Becton at this point in time, because they saw the combine, they saw the way he can move, they saw how big he is. But another guy I'm going to tell you, Tristan Wirfs, man. He, to me, really impressed me. And you're talking about screen passes. Could you imagine a guy that could get out in front of Saquon Barkley, that could run 4.86, that can move the way he can? So both of them are very attractive options to me. They both could do a variety of things. I'd be happy with either one of those two. I'd be happy with any one of the four, but Becton is definitely the biggest of the bunch.
Yes, it's scary. And last but not least, keep your eye on Nick Harris in the 3rd round. You just found out from a little somebody. Just they're bullseyeing him. Just letting you know. The center from Washington.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on him. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. You too, buddy.
You got it.
OGR, man. Thanks. 1 second, let me just read OGR super chat. $5 super chat. He says, "My man, killing it as usual. I gotta head out. I have been listening for 20 minutes or so. You truly are my favorite little." Love the call, and I appreciate that, OGR. And if you guys have not done so, go on over to that channel and subscribe to OGR, man. Love that guy. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hi, this is Danny Dimes. I'm from Texas. It's good to talk to you.
Danny Dimes from Texas. Now, this is not the Danny Dimes, right? That's just your name, right?
No, that's just my name. I'm not the Danny Dimes. No, I don't have those kind of credentials.
What's up, buddy?
I'm just gonna ask you, out of Isaiah Simmons, Jeffrey or Okuda, I guess, and Chase Young, who do you think will be the most successful in their first year?
All right. Isaiah Simmons, Jeff Okuda, Chase. I would say Chase Young. I think edge rusher is the easiest position to transition to into the pros. Cornerback is one of the hardest. And Isaiah Simmons, I think I like him. I think he's going to be very good. But I do think, being that he's a guy that does a variety of things, my guess would be it's going to take him a little longer. I mean, Chase Young, all he has to do, just do what you've been doing. Bull rush. Use your strength, use your speed to get to the quarterback. So if I had to pick one, I think the easiest transition is Chase Young. And that's any draft. I think the edge rusher is the easiest position to transition from college to pro.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you could estimate, how many sacks do you think he'd get?
I think he'd get at least 8 or 9 minimum. I think he'll get close to double digits in his rookie year. I like all these stud edge rushers that come out of college their first year. They usually get at least right around 10.
Yep. Well, if that's the reality, then I really do hope the Giants try to make a move and get him.
Well, I think a lot of Giants fans hope that they try to get him. The thing is, I don't see the Redskins trading down. If the only way it would happen, the Redskins would have to take Tua, and the Lions would probably have to trade out of the pick, because if the Lions stay at 3 and Chase Young's there, I would think they would take him. You would need one of those two teams, the Chargers or the Dolphins, to panic and want to move up to get Herbert, because Tua's already off the board. That's the only way. You would need 3 quarterbacks to go with the first 3 picks, in my opinion, that I could see Chase Young falling to us.
Yeah, I think Herbert's like Daniel Jones 2.0. I think he's gonna fly under the radar, but I think he's very good. I think he's got a great arm and some great speed.
That's a great comparison. I actually don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that they're both similar height. I think that's a pretty good. I probably prefer Herbert a little bit more, but when I watched him in college. But yeah, I think that's a fair comparison. Herbert's weakness is the same thing with Daniel Jones. He tries to fit balls in the tight windows sometimes when he shouldn't. They're both tall. They're both athletic. I would say Herbert probably has a little more arm strength, but yeah, I think that's a fair comparison.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, buddy. I don't want to hold you up.
You got it, man. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Thanks.
Herbert the Pervert. What's up, Jared Williams? Thank you to everybody for being here. What's up, Kevin Cronin? Thanks for popping in. What's going on? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Well.
What's up, Mike Nixon? What's up, buddy?
The birthday boy has arrived.
Yes, happy birthday, Mike. How you been, buddy?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. My green screen sucks, though. Hold on. All right, there you go. But yeah, man, what do you want to talk about, man?
I'm just excited for free agency, and I just want to know who Gettleman's going to sign it, because we've said this for a number of months. This is the biggest free agency of Gettleman's career, is this year.
Absolutely is. In my opinion, it's a huge offseason for the Giants.
Like, I almost rather kind of get Conklin, because I think if we get Conklin, I feel like we'll get Simmons.
I agree with that. I agree. If we get Conklin, we're probably going defense for sure. And Darnell, man, thanks for loving me real quick. Let me just say a quick one. $2 super chat. Darnell, how you been, buddy? He says, "Hey, Chris, do you see Chase Young falling to us? You could pray." But no, I do not. Like I just said to my last call, I don't know if you just popped in, Darnell. The only way I could see it happening, you would need the Redskins to take Tua, and you would need the Lions to trade out of the pick for a quarter. For the Dolphins or the Chargers to move up and get a quarterback. And I just don't see it happening. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I don't see it happening too, unless I don't know if you've been hearing the last couple of days, but things haven't been good in Washington with Trent Williams.
Yeah, yes. No, I have been hearing Trent Williams. They already give him the option to look for a trade. But I'm not surprised by that. I mean, Trent Williams held out all of last season.
Because I was going to say, if they feel it, I mean, they should go Chase Young. But if they have other feelings, and everybody wants to trade up for a quarterback, and Miami wants to get Tua, that would be the perfect option right there. And they could easily at 5 go get their left tackle of the future, and whoever it be, like an Andrew Thomas or Cedric Wills, you know what I mean? Or Becton.
Oh, I'm not ruling that out. I'm definitely not ruling. But Miami would have. The thing with this is, I don't think that Washington is opposed to trading down if they get blown away. I just don't think they're going to get blown away. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to be willing to give the Redskins what it would cost to move from 5 to 2. Because the Redskins, in my opinion at least, unless the Redskins are going to take Tua, which if they are, they're just going to take him. The only way they're trading down is if they don't want a quarterback. And if that to me means you're giving up Chase Young. So for the Redskins to give up Chase Young, they've got to be blown away. And I don't see the Dolphins giving them what it would take for them not to take Chase Young.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think come draft time it's gonna end up being Chase Young, and I really hope we get Simmons. I like Simmons a lot. I know a lot of Giants fans do, but it's only because I like versatile people, and I told you that in the past. I love people that are versatile, that can just go out there and just play that we can count on somebody. If somebody goes down, that person can go fill in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think like I've said from the start, I think that if they're going defense, because of what you just said, I mean, Joe Judge has expressed that's what he wants. I think Isaiah Simmons would be the prime target if they're going defense. I don't know. I got to see what they do in free agency. We're going to know in 10 days. Well, 12 days. But you start.
Do you have a time machine so we can go right to them 10 days?
You start to get the leaks on the 16th. It doesn't become official to the 18th. But I remember because I did this last year, and obviously I come out with a ton of videos. I don't just do the Giants sign. I do all the big signings. I make a video on it, and I remember that the signings came out. Actually, the first day they could start talking. You started to receive word.
Yeah,
of course.
That's how it usually is.
Yeah.
And then it just takes a couple of days just to sign. I mean, and let's be honest, we're not going to see no DeAndre Jordan situation where somebody agrees and backs out at the last minute.
Well, we saw it last year. What was it? Anthony Barr signed with the Jets?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we saw it last year. So anything could happen.
We did see it with Anthony Barr and no, Mosley didn't do it. It was just Anthony Barr, right?
Yeah, Anthony Barr. I think it was Barr signed with the Jets,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then he backed out and he signed with the Vikings.
Oh God, man!
Yeah.
What an asshole!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a little wasted right now. But
that's okay, Mike. Man, I hope you're enjoying your birthday, and
I am, man. And I really pray. I pray every night that we get Isaiah Simmons. I'm not gonna lie. I really pray every night, entertaining that we get him.
I think you and a lot of Giants fans are praying before they go to bed.
I'm telling you this right now. The second his name comes out, I'm ordering his jersey.
I think you and a lot of Giants fans will be doing that if they draft him at number 4 overall, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. I probably order his jersey too. But Mike, I'm gonna let you go. We got a super chat there. I'm gonna read that. I just want to say thank you for the call. Enjoy the rest of your birthday, and thanks for the call, man.
Thanks for being like a brother to me, and keep up all the great work, brother.
You got it, Mike, man. Enjoy the hibachi, man. Have a good one.
Oh, I already ate that.
All right, man. Have a good one. Let me get that. BS, man. Thanks for the love, man. With the $2 super chat, he says, plant a flag on your favorite tackle in the draft. And that is I'm telling you right now, man, that is the toughest question, man, because if you would ask me that 3 weeks ago, I'm going to tell you Andrew Thomas. But then Mekhi, they all have some weaknesses. They all have some strengths. I love all of them, though. If the Giants take any one of the 4, I'm going to be happy. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yo, Chris, what's going on? It's Rolly.
What's going on, Rolly? How you doing, buddy?
Not much. Just getting, looking forward to this free agency and this draft. As far as the draft, I think I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I would love to trade down, get more picks, you know what I mean, and hopefully draft Isaiah Simmons, you know what I mean, and that's the guy, just like the last caller and every Giant fan want. For some reason it just feels like Isaiah Simmons is like the perfect fit for this team moving forward on defense. As far as free agency, I know everybody was talking about if we take an offensive line, if we sign an offensive lineman, we might not. It might determine what the draft is. We can't really look at it like that because I remember a few years ago. Dave Gettleman signed Stewart. Again, we all know that was a horrible signing.
That was not a good one.
He was up there in age, but me as a guy that wanted a quarterback, I thought for sure him doing that, maybe we're not going running back. So we can't discount just because we sign a linebacker like a Littleton doesn't mean Dave Gettleman might not draft Isaiah Simmons because we're weak on that in that position right now. So I don't want people to think even the offensive lineman. If we sign Coughlin, doesn't mean we're not going to get a draft offensive lineman. So we got to keep that in mind.
That's a good point you bring up. That's a great point you bring up. I agree with that. If they take Littleton, that does not mean that they will that Isaiah Simmons is a definitive no. What I will say, at least in my opinion, if they don't address the offensive line at all in free agency, I can't say anything's definitive, but I'm definitely leaning that they're going offensive line in the first round. That I will say. I'm not going to say it's definitive, but if they don't sign a tackle, of any significance, and they don't, like even Bulaga, if they don't sign anybody that's going to be a starting tackle for the New York Giants or a starting center in free agency, I would be leaning that they're going to go offensive line in the first. But if they sign Littleton, I agree that doesn't necessarily take them out of the running for Isaiah Simmons. I agree with that.
Right. Now, as far as in Ndakwe, I'd love to have him, but just like you, the money situation, especially for a team like us, we're not a win-now team. You know what I mean? Granted, we have the quarterback on a rookie contract. This is the time to start really, putting guys in there. But for $22 million, I'm still up in the air with that. It's like, we need it. But at the same time, do we need to spend that kind of money? And I go back to looking at, the off season in 2005. Eli Manning finishes rookie year. We signed Kareem McKenzie. Antonio Pierce.
We got Burris.
If we could get something like that, something in that aspect, obviously sign an offensive lineman like Coughlin. If we could get him and he could satisfy that whole, contract, that would be great. That would be great. You know what I mean? Sign a linebacker. You know what I mean? And then start picking some, players in the draft. I hope that we can have an off season like that. Like everybody's saying, this is a big off season for Dave Gettleman. I'm not a fan of the guy. You know that. I'm not a fan of him. But this is a big one for him. He needs to be smart. I don't want him to go too crazy. I know, us fans, we wild out. We want the sexy signings and everything like that. But I don't want to be in the same position that we were in 2 years ago.
It's a great point.
Or 3 years ago.
That's what I keep saying, man. I think he's got to go kind of in between. Because I think this team, I think this team has so many holes that you need to definitely bring in established, good players in free agency to fill them. But you can't, like Mara has said, you cannot go hog wild. You still have to plan for the future as well. You can't just do it all
right.
at once.
And even if you don't spend crazy this year, maybe save it for next year. You know what I mean? Just get a few pieces here and there that's going to help the team, moving forward. Smart football guys in free agency.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same way we're saying we want smart football, guys in the draft. We need smart football players and that's already playing in the NFL. That's going to be really good football players that's going to help out the team for years to come. So when we do add more of these, young guys and we put them together, they can mesh. Because keep in mind, we still have a young head coach. You know what I mean? We listen. We had a young head coach with what's his name, McAdoo, and we spent crazy money, and we got 1 year of success. So I want it to be where it's a plan where you know, we spend the money, but it's smart. You know what I mean? Get smart football players, you know, that can, you know, fill the holes. Good players, you know what I mean? Young, good players that can fill the hole. And then you add in a couple of young prospects in the draft. And then you know, the second year of Joe Judge's tenure as head coach, maybe we could go, you know, take it to the next level. I just want us to be smart right now and build this team up. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. I'm all for signing a guy like Littleton, making one big signing, but like I said to one of my previous callers, I want it to be incremental. I want you to make one big signing. The rest, 2-3 year deals, keep flipping those contracts over, extend the players that you know, Barkley, I know not everybody was in favor of the Barkley pick. I think at this point in time, whether you think Barkley should be here long term or not, yeah, I think you have to at least accept the fact that he's probably going to be. So you have to set yourself up to be able to retain these players. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, to retain Daniel Jones, to be able to retain Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, whoever, Dexter Lawrence, you need to do it incrementally. You have to always have cap space available to be able to keep the players on your roster. That's what all the good teams do. That's what the Steelers do. That's what the Patriots do. The players they want to keep, they don't let walk. And the way they're able to do that is they spend incrementally. They don't do what the Jets did last offseason. They don't do what the Giants did 3 years ago. I think you got to do it incrementally.
And the one big, if I had to choose the one big signing that I would want the Giants to do is just sign Conklin.
I agree.
You know what I mean? If I had to choose, because I feel like that's the most, that's the position of importance right now. You know what I mean? Solidifying the right side and taking it from there. You know, and far as go ahead.
No. I'm 100% on board with that. The only thing I worry about with Conklin is. I think everybody's going to be trying to get him. So it's going to be hard to get him, but if there was one guy that I'm splurging for, it's him. He's young, and he fills our, in my opinion, our biggest need right now. So I agree with you.
Right. And I have one more thing to say. Now, as far as the Leonard Williams, again, you know, I've been on record saying it. Like, listen, at this point, you know, I know you and Bad Dog, you know, like Leonard Williams, you know, to me, I didn't see anything that he was doing that pointed out to me that was like, yo, we need to re-sign this guy. No.
Right.
I mean, I thought Dave Gettleman made the biggest mistake. You don't do that when you're a rebuilding team. It just shows how far off he is sometimes. And again, I know you.
No. I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. That was a bad trade. It was a very bad trade. Yeah, it was a very bad trade. Yeah.
But at this point, though, Chris, you know what? Dave Gettleman should just fucking, you know, put his tail behind his legs and just say, fuck it, I fucked up. You know what? Let's move on from him. At this point, just let him walk, because I don't think whatever whatever he's allegedly looking to get, he's not worth that money. Not for a guy that's just, a guy that's just doesn't really, put major pressure on the quarterback or sack the quarterback. To me, I don't think he's the guy to even go after in free agency. I would just let him loose and just say, you know what? And Dave Gettleman should just say, you know what? I fucked up once again. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, man. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber, man. Have a good one. Let me, Hey, 1 second. Just want to read a couple of these super chats. Mark Stewart, man. Thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. He says, I hope that we get Simmons. Keep it 100. Mark Stewart, man. I appreciate the love, man. And I think most of the people in the chat are probably very happy that you wrote that. And Mike Nixon, man. $2 super chat. He says, oh, by the way, Nick Howard wanted me to tell you he says hi. Nick Howard's the man, my Chess Moss brother, man. Thanks for the love, Mike. Have a happy birthday. I know that there was at least one more. I just want to make sure I get it. There it is. $5 super chat from Eddie H. He says, much love, son. You keep growing. Let's hope we go wide receiver in the second round. To me, it's going to depend. And Eddie, man, thanks for the love, man. To me, it's going to depend on who drops to us there. If there is a no doubter that falls to us at the wide receiver position, we could potentially go wide receiver. But I'm thinking more like the fourth round because it's such a deep draft. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
How's it going, Chris? It's Barboski, man.
What's up, Barboski, man? Another great subscriber, man. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just chilling. I'm glad I got through. How's everything?
Pretty good, man. I'm trying to do this, once a week now that free agency's getting close. And, we're gonna have some stuff to talk about. Obviously, I know this week it's kind of a dead week, but next week it's gonna really heat up, and then obviously after free agency we'll have a lot to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. It's fast approaching. I mean, next thing you know, we'll be getting ready for the season. But I just want to talk a little bit of draft, a little bit of free agency.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you remember, I'm hoping the Giants draft Okudah or Simmons. I mean, in that order. You know, so I know most Giants fans want Simmons, but I'm kind of with you with the whole deal of, moving back and hopefully getting a tackle, offensive tackle. But if we stay at 4, I really think Gettleman and the Giants are just going to take the best guy available on their board. You know what I mean? Whether it's Simmons or Okudah or whoever it might be.
Whoever maybe Becton. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I listen, man. I am not one, and you are. Out of all my subscribers, you are probably the most outspoken Okudah supporter. I'm not against Okudah. I'm not. I'm really not. I would not be upset at all if they take Okudah in the first round. I'd be happy with Simmons, him, or an offensive lineman at number 4. I definitely recognize how important a cornerback is, especially in today's game.
Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Simmons. I mean, he just moves from side to side, sideline to sideline, and obviously it's been a while since we've drafted a linebacker. I mean, Carl Banks. So don't get me wrong. I would love to get Simmons. My thing with Simmons is and you can tell me what you think. We talk about the versatility, and obviously he's versatile, and he can play different positions. But once he moves up to the NFL, is he really going to be able to learn the playbook, as far as every position, whether it's linebacker, safety, slot corner, and like I said before, if he's going to play safety one play and then play linebacker the next, how is that going to affect everybody else on the team? Like, are they going to be able to be versatile enough? And, hey, it could be possible with the new defensive scheme, and maybe, Simmons is just a new breed that I haven't seen. But, what do you think about that?
You know what? That's something I think that's something I never even thought about, being that he's so versatile and how the Giants would use him in a multitude of ways. How would that affect the other players on the team? It's not a horrible point you bring up. I think he's going to be a very good player. I do, at the NFL level. I don't know if he's a slam dunk Pro Bowler, like some people may think, but I do think he's going to be a very good player, and I do think he's the type of player that the New York Giants would drool over given what they're trying to bring in. I would say at this point in time, it's at least a 50% chance that if they're staying at 4 and Simmons is there, they're going to take him. But Simmons might go to Detroit. A lot of people aren't even talking about that. They might take him over Okudah. So, we won't know until draft night.
I've heard Lion fans talking about Simmons and how they want him. So it's a possibility. Even though if you ask me my opinion, I think the Lions or the Redskins, one of those teams is going to end up trading out. Like, I think one of these quarterback needy teams is going to want to move up, whether it's with the Redskins, Lions, or Giants. So something's going to happen there.
An important day is I think it's April 9th. That's Tua's pro day. So that I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see a trade until draft night. But you definitely won't see a trade until at least after April 9th, because I think these teams are going to want to assess what Tua looks like on his pro day. And as Giants fans, we should be hoping he knocks it out of the park. That's a big day to keep circled on your calendar.
Even Herbert, the same thing, I'm guessing he's going to have a pro day also. We also want him to do great.
Yeah. Jordan Love, but the more the merrier, Yeah, I'm with you. I do think Tua is the most likely guy that the Giants would trade up for, though. I'll say, not the Giants, rather, a team would jump the Giants to take out of all the quarterbacks, because his ceiling is just so high.
You never know. Teams jump. The Bears jump for Trubisky, so you never know. Yeah, as far as Okudah, the reason why I have him, on my board, quote unquote, my board ahead of Simmons, just because, as far as the Giants, man, I'm not saying nothing that nobody knows, but this past defense has been horrendous for how long, and I know the Giants spent a lot of draft capital last year. As a matter of fact, the last couple years, if you include Beal, but to me, there's no number one corner. Maybe Baker, just probably had a down year, and I know he picked it up towards the end, but believe you put Okuda there first, and then that enables you to put Baker number 2, and then you have a whole bunch of depth at the cornerback spot. And like I said, it's just defense. This past defense has just been horrendous. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, 4th and 10, just giving up all these pass plays. And
hey man, I don't disagree with you. But somebody who's in favor of Simmons might argue, well, yeah, but a lot of that happened in the slot. He would take over the inside of the field. Listen, at the end of the day, if I would be either one of them is going to improve this defense immensely because they're both needs. We need a guy. We definitely need improvement in the secondary at the cornerback position, and we definitely need a guy that could cover the middle of the field. So both of those guys would help the defense at the end of the day if they decide to go defense. And if they go, here's another thing I'll say: for everybody that is dead set on the defense, I don't think you could honestly tell yourself that you wouldn't at least understand why the New York Giants would take a tackle. So at the end of the day, if they go tackle or if they get one of those two individuals, I don't think any of us could be really upset on draft night.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, at 4, the Giants are going to get a good pick, and if they move back, they're going to get that, an extra pick or two, which they need. I mean, they have so many holes that, it just makes sense regardless. I don't think the Giants are going to mess this draft up. I mean, it's a very important draft. I mean, geez, we've been horrible these last I don't know how many years. So, but I'm confident that Gettleman and Judge are gonna knock this out the park as far as this draft.
I'm with you, man. I think they're gonna do a good job. I'm looking forward to it.
And just one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just one more thing about free agency. The Leonard Williams thing. That's. I mean, I know we're talking about all these other free agents from other teams, but that's the big one for the Giants because do we let him walk? Do we pick him up?
That's the biggest thing. That and Marcus Golden. That's probably the very tough decision. Both those individuals. And that sets everything else up.
And I think and I brought this up in one of your one of your videos when I forget what you were talking about, which video it was, but I talked about the Brown kid from Auburn. That if they let Williams walk, I think he's a real option at 4.
I agree with you. I said that in a video. Maybe that was the video you were talking about. I made a video about that. And maybe not at 4, but maybe if they traded to 6, I think I said. But regardless, the only way Derek Brown could make any sense is that exact scenario. If they let Leonard Williams walk, you have to at least realize that Dave Gettleman feels like that is a void that would need to be filled. He brought Leonard Williams in for a reason, and that is the type of player that could fill that void. So I agree with you. If they let Leonard Williams walk, Derek Brown is a possibility. I agree.
And and I know they have a lot of depth, and I know you brought it up, and anybody that knows the Giants squad and who they have, obviously D-line is one of our strengths. So, but at the same time, you put Brown, Lawrence, you have the guy from Alabama, I forgot his name.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah, B.J. Hill.
B.J. Hill.
Yeah.
And you probably trade one of those guys and try to get a 2nd, 3rd round pick. I don't know, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at that pick either. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Hey, man, we'll have to wait till draft night, but at the end of the day, hopefully they just fill a hole that we need, and we have a lot of holes that we need to fill. But I'm going to let you go. I got a lot of people calling. I got some super chats I got to answer, but thank you so much for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Great channel, man. Keep it up. How's it going?
I appreciate it, my man. All right. 1 second. Just got to get a couple of super chats. Josh Lattori's the first one. $5 super chat from Josh Lattori says, have you seen any film on Colin Johnson from Texas, 6'6", and we could get him in the... Yes, I have. He's one of the guys that would fit what we're looking for. And Josh, one of my best subscribers. Thank you very much. Him, Gandy Golden, similar wide receivers. I think Gandy Golden, 6'4", but that is the type of receiver that the Giants will be looking at, and I think round 4 is where I project they're going to take a wide receiver. And I know I had a couple more. Hold on 1 second. I don't mean to ignore you guys. I just don't want to cut off the phone conversation while I'm on the phone. Danny Dime, man. Thanks for the love, man. $10 super chat. He says, what's an ideal scenario to get Chase Claypool? That's my favorite player in the draft. The only way with the combine that Chase Claypool had, at least in my opinion, is round 2, and he may not even get there. I had Claypool going number 24. I know that's, or 22 to the Bills, I think it was. I know that's higher than most, but I think he's definitely going in the 2nd round. I would be shocked if he gets out of the 2nd. So if the Giants wanted Claypool, they'd have to take him round 2. I like him a lot too, but I do think you could get wide receivers similar to him, like a Colin Johnson, in the 4th round. And let me read a couple more here. Lax, thanks for letting me. $5 super chat. He says, if they sign Littleton and Conklin, do they still go Simmons or trade down and take an edge rusher or corner? Keep up the good work, brother. I really appreciate that. If they sign Littleton and Conklin, that's a great question because then you would have addressed the right tackle and the middle linebacker. You could definitely still go Simmons there. You'd have two great linebackers in terms of coverage. In that aspect, I don't think you're going offensive tackle. You could go Okudah, you could go Simmons, or you could trade down and get the best available player. I think that's what you're looking at there. Slob, thanks for Slob on my broccoli Rob, one of my favorite names. My dream draft would be Okudah at 4 and trading back into the top 10 for that would be a big price tag to trade back up into the top 10, being that our next pick is 37. We'd have to give up next year's first to do so. But yeah, if we get an offensive lineman like Jedrick Wills and Okudah on draft night, that would be pretty damn good. And Asia, what's going on, Asia? Says, stand up, Sexy Dana. Are you ready for opening day? 2 more weeks. I cannot wait. And I'll see you at a Met game this year for sure. I'm definitely going to a few. And we got time, and you guys are phenomenal. Thank you guys for the love. He says, if we can't get Claypool, I want Kendrick Rogers 5th round. Great show. Sorry, just getting here watching my Pelicans. Well, hopefully you're enjoying the Pelican game. And we got game. 4th, 5th round is where we're attacking wide receiver, and we're going with a tall one. Sorry for that. Just had a lot of super chats I had to get to. What's going on? Who's this?
This is Kaiser Sose.
What's going on, man? Thanks for the call, buddy.
Hey, so here's what I'm thinking. Rule is going to push Cam out. He's going to go to the Chargers, and he's going to trade up with us, and we're going to get two second-rounders out of them. So you think we trade from 4 to 7, and then we end up with a second in this year and a second in the following year's draft? Is that what you're? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
You know what? I'm not ruling anything out right now because right now there's a lot of smoke, right? But he did come out and kind of back up Cam Newton at the NFL Combine. But, who knows? Anything's possible. I wouldn't rule anything out. There's a lot of smoke that goes on before the process. I would lean probably not. I'm not saying they can't draft a quarterback, but I think Cam is probably at least a quarterback this year. But they still could draft a quarterback to learn under Cam for a year. Like, Matt Rule knows his job is going to be relying upon the quarterback that he gets. If he's in love with Tua and he's there, he might be willing to move up to get Tua. I'm not ruling that out. And that would actually be a perfect, or Herbert, whoever it is. But if he liked Tua, that would actually be a perfect fit because Tua you might not feel comfortable starting him the first year coming off the injury, or at least the first half of the year. You sit Tua behind Newton for 8 games, let him learn, or until he's comfortable, ready to go. I wouldn't rule it out. Carolina could go quarterback. It's not impossible.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks for taking my call.
No, man, thank you for waiting, man. I was sorry to keep you on hold so long. Thank you for being a great subscriber. I appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Thank you for waiting, man. I was sorry to keep you on hold. Thank you for being a great subscriber. I appreciate it. Can you do me a favor? Just turn the volume down in the background.
Sure.
Can you do me a favor? Just turn the volume down in the background. You're gonna have to call. Yeah, you didn't. Did you turn the volume down? Sorry, guys, I can't. It's annoying for the listeners. I can't have the volume going off like that in the background like that. So just turn your volume down. You call back in. Just turn your volume down. Haskins, I'll talk to the chat while they're doing that. What's going on? Cruz on Afghanistan in the house. Kevin Cronin in the house. Trade back and Wirfs at 6 or 7. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. BS. I wouldn't be opposed to that. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello?
What's good?
What's going on? Who's this?
Hello?
Who's this?
I don't know, bro. I just clicked on your video and I saw you, dog.
So all right. What do you want to talk about?
So, anything.
All right. Okay. I'll talk to you later, man. If you're going to call in, I have something to talk about. Mekhi Becton hasn't allowed a... Mekhi Becton didn't allow a sack this year? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Who's this?
Hey, this is Lamont from North Carolina.
What's going on, Lamont? Thanks for the call, man.
Hey, I had a question. Mekhi Becton, he is 6'7", 360 pounds. He haven't allowed a sack at University of Louisville. if we could trade back to 6 and get a second, a fourth, and a second round pick for 2021, that would be fair.
Okay, so you're all right. So we trade down from 4 to 6. We obviously get the 6th. We get the 37th pick, a 4th, and a future second.
Yes, sir.
I mean, yeah, that's a no. I would even do it without the 4th. I would do it for the 37th and a future second.
Yes, that'd be good.
Yeah, I that's the exact trade actually that I simulated in my Gettleman project. I said the 37th and a future second, and then yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. You could end up with no matter who you want to go there. You could possibly get Isaiah Simmons there, or you get your offensive tackle, and you get more assets. And then the other thing that's great about that trade, you could then couple the 36th and 37th pick, and possibly move back up into the back end of the first round and get another player.
Yeah, that'd be good. If you look at it, like, we got to fix the O-line.
Right.
Like, I like Cecile Ruiz from Michigan, Mekhi Beckham at left tackle. Put him with Hernandez. That's like the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, I mean, Ruiz had a great combine. And there's a lot of good centers in this year's draft. But Ruiz, I think, has definitely jumped the charts. I think he's the number one center, at least at this point in time. That is probably one of the 3 or 4 names I definitely have circled as a second-round prospect. Depending on what we do, you know, if we address it in free agency.
Dak or Jake Hansen.
Yes.
From Oregon.
Yeah, there's a couple of centers. But Ruiz has skyrocketed. He had a really good combine.
Yes. All you gotta do is fix up our secondary, like the free safety from Ohio State, Jordan Fuller, 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah. Safety is it's interesting because safety we've got right now. Obviously, we got Peppers and we got Love. I don't view that as one of our biggest needs, but if you added a safety, you could then move Love to the slot corner spot. So if the other thing, you could possibly get Delpit in the second round too. That's another possibility out of LSU at the safety spot. There's so many possibilities in the second round.
Yeah, because I got a my draft I do. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, you do a mock draft on there?
Yeah, you can just DM my mock draft. My Instagram is the NWO919.
All right, good stuff, man. Anything else?
Fix the O-line, get it back. I like this running back. I was good on for a good while. His name is I forgot to pronounce his name. His name is Seal Olai. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. He's like a young version of Brandon Jacobs.
Well, that's I don't know the guy you're talking about, you know, but that's the type of running back that I want. I want a big running back to be able to come in on those third. That's if there is a running back we're going to draft in this year's draft, that's the type of running back I want. A guy that you could bring in on 3rd and inches, 4th and inches, get those tough yardage, and somebody that's good in pass protection. I want a big bruiser. And I'd like it probably in the 5th round or so. But that's if they're going to take a running back. Yeah.
Or I look at a defensive line that I've seen. That was his name is not a defensive line, an offensive tackle. Another offensive tackle named Alex Taylor, South Carolina, 6'8", 315.
I'll give him a look, man. We definitely need depth at that position. We need to draft as many offensive linemen as we can later in the round. We can't just focus on the starters. We also need some depth at that position as well. So I'll definitely give it a look, man. And I got
possible tight end.
I agree with that. Tight end, wide receiver, running back. I could see them addressing all those positions in the later rounds.
You got to look at Khalid Kareem, edge rusher from Notre Dame, 6'4", 265.
I've heard of him. I've heard of him. Okwara is obviously the bigger guy there, but he's going to go in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I went to all his games. Mekhi Beckham, he haven't gave up a sack. You move him at left, then once we cut Nate Solder, that Alex Taylor fit right in that right.
We'll see. I gotta let you go though. I got a bunch of people calling in, but thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Give me a shout out. I'm from originally from Newark, New Jersey, but I'm in North Carolina.
What's your name?
My name is Lamont Adams.
Lamont from Virginia, man. I appreciate the call, buddy.
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. I'm sorry. Lamont from North Carolina. I appreciate the call, my man. Have a good one.
Woo!
Whoa! Cruzon, thanks for the love, man. $2 super. Think that guy might have been throwing a few back. Cruzon with the $2 super chat. He says, Becton scares me. I wouldn't mind Wirfs at 4. Wirfs really impressed me. He might be the safe. Wills, Wirfs, probably, in my opinion, the 2 safest. But Becton might have the highest upside. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up? This is James from Virginia.
What's up, James, man? Thanks for the call, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a long-time subscriber. I just want to, I'll say if we trade down and somehow manage to get Isaiah Simmons, I think it would be a good idea to, to get if we trade down, we get a second-round pick. I think we should use we have 2 second-rounders, use one of the second-rounders to get Yannick Ngakoue, and I think that would, be perfect for our defense, honestly.
So you're saying trade down, hypothetically trade down with the Chargers, get the 6, get the 37, use that 37 to get Yannick Ngakoue?
Yes, sir.
You know what? It's not a horrible. It's not the worst idea in the world. I'll say that because you're still going to get, if you're willing to pay him that money, because you're still going to get who you wanted at 4 that you would get at 6. And 37 is about what it would cost. You go back and look at some of the trades that I made a video on it today. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst trade proposal, that's for sure. If they were set on bringing in Yannick Ngakoue, that is a possibility. I'll say that. It's not a horrible trade.
Well, I know we have to protect Daniel Jones, but, I mean, we can still get Austin Jackson possibly in the second round. Possibly.
Possibly.
And he's not bad.
No, he's not. He had a good combine. Josh Jones is another one. Both those guys are possibilities at that spot.
Yeah, but thank you for taking my call, man.
You got it, man. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm calling from VA. You know what I'm saying? I've been a New York Giants fan my whole life, man. And first of all, I'm gonna start by saying, man, you do a good job on this what's called, man, keeping everybody knowing what's going on and stuff like that.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate. And by the way, before you this is the first time in my call-ins history that I've had 3 callers from Virginia. I think one was from North Carolina, one from North Carolina, and then the last 2 have been from Virginia. So we're on a roll. What's up, man?
That's right. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like I'm feeling Daniel Jones, man. You know what I'm saying, right? And I'm Duke Sloan. I've been commenting on your stuff, right?
Yeah. I know who you are, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, man. Me and you on the same page, but we need to fix the offensive line. That's the first thing.
I'm completely with you, man. We spent the 6th pick on a quarterback, the 2nd pick on a running back, and you don't have a line. Got to fix it.
That's right. That's the first thing. You have to protect Daniel Jones, man. Like I'm telling you, the man put 24 touchdowns up last year, man. And he got sacked 9 times from his blind side, and they got sacked 10 times from his 9 times from his right side, and then 10 times from his blind side. Ain't no quarterback can take that.
Yeah, you're right. If you want your quarterback to stand up and have a long career, listen. That's what the Giants did for Eli Manning. People might not remember it, but the Giants built him an offensive line early in his career. They got to do the same thing for Daniel Jones. If you want Daniel Jones to be the quarterback here for the next 15 years, which should be the goal, you gotta protect the guy. So I agree. I agree with you.
And I feel like they cut Eli's career shorter than it was supposed to be too.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Because
100%. Second half of the career, they screwed it up.
That left tackle, man, we haven't had a blindside blocker from him since David Deal.
Yeah, since the days of Deal, Snee, O'Hara, McKenzie, they have not. Their offensive line has been complete trash. It's been horrible.
That's right, and it's sad, man, that you got that much talent in the backfield and you cannot protect these people.
Yeah, and especially with the offense that they want to implement, right? They want to have this offense that could throw the ball down the field. To be able to throw the ball down the field, your quarterback needs time to throw the ball. So
that's right.
The offensive line has to be paramount this offseason. I know they need to address the defense. Believe me, I watch it every week. It's horrible. They need to do both, but you have to pay attention to both. You can't just focus on just the defense. You got to fix the offensive line as well.
That's right. That's the most important thing, man. It's the block for Saquon and Daniel Jones, because Saquon have that home run ability where he can break at any time, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. I listen. I'm a big. Anybody that watches my channel, I am a big fan of fixing the offensive line as quickly as possible because I think it'll help the defense as well. I think you need to get more talent on the defense. Don't get me wrong. They need to spend money in free agency on defense. They need to spend early draft picks on the defense, but I do think improving that offensive line is going to help the defense because it's just common sense. You could throw the ball three or four more minutes a game because you could run it more effectively. It's going to keep your defense fresh. So it goes hand in hand. One helps the other.
That's right. And then the rotation in the depth of the line is crucial too for the defensive line. You got to have players to rotate. Look at San Francisco.
Great point.
Yes.
Look at the Giants. Look at the Giants when we were winning Super Bowls.
Oh, that's right. Yes, all the Super Bowls. You know, I'm a young man. Like I'm only 30 years old.
I'm only 34.
I wasn't able to see.
Oh no, I'm talking about I'm talking about the more recent Super Bowls. We had interchangeable parts on that defensive line.
That's right. Had players that could rotate in and out.
Yeah,
and you got to have those players.
Yeah,
you have to have those players.
I mean, Tollefson. Tollefson was a guy that came in. He gave you good minutes. I mean, so many guys. They had like 6, 7 man rotation on the defensive line. I agree with you. You need depth.
Yeah, we definitely need a left tackle though, man. And it wouldn't hurt. I mean, for real, I won't disparage Conklin, right? But still, at the same time, if we can't get Conklin, we trade down and maybe get 2 or 3 draft picks and fix this line. Like for real, if we can't get one offensive lineman in the first round, that's okay. Take a left tackle, and then next round take a center. That like the man from Michigan or Ruins.
Yeah. Cesar Ruiz, you're talking about.
Yes, we need him. Like we need somebody that can move out of space. Like, you know, the block for this man in space. Because Saquon can make a lot of things happen.
Could you imagine, and I know a lot of people like Becton, could you imagine if we got Wirfs and Ruiz? You see the athleticism that both those guys possess, the ability to get out in front of Saquon Barkley and set up the screen passes and things like that. That would be a nice tool to have, man. It would be a nice tool to have.
But what about the Georgia left tackle? Georgia left tackle,
Andrew Thomas, another guy you want to keep an eye on for sure.
Yes, see, I like those players that can move out of space because the way Saquon sets up and do blocking. Like I was saying, like I need us to have that offensive line that Dallas had for Zeke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Like a lot of times they can't even touch Zeke while he running up the middle of the field until he get into the secondary.
I listen, man. I completely agree with you. They spent, whether you agree with the Saquon pick or not, and I completely understand the fans that do not. He's on the team, and they invested a very early pick on him. You've got to support him, and you got to get that offensive line fixed. You got to be able to run the football. That was the plan when we brought him in here, to be able to do that effectively and efficiently. You've got to fix the main problem on the offense, which is the offensive line. It's been that problem, like you said, for 10 years. Got to fix it.
That's right. And I hate, man, that they did that to Eli, right? And they threw him under the bus, and the last coach we had, Shermer, he threw him under the bus, knowing he wasn't ready to start, knowing Daniel Jones wasn't ready to start this year, man. He wasn't ready. Like, he is a good cornerback, and he will be great one day, but he wasn't ready this year. Eli, man, we had the number 6 offense. They can look it up. We got the number 6 offense before Eli got benched, man. You know what I'm saying? We were putting yards on there. We wasn't scoring points. We was putting yards.
Well, the Cowboy game, we put up like 500 yards. We just didn't put up the points. But listen, man, I love Eli. I understood why they benched him. You needed to get Daniel Jones some experience. But I agree with you. I personally think Shermer did it to save his job. And it ended up probably costing him his job, because then they saw enough out of Daniel Jones and they said, all right, we got our guy. We don't need the guy to mentor him anymore. But I think Shermer saw the writing on the wall. He saw he had a poor defense, and he looked for a guy to blame it on. He blamed it on Eli. He said, I'm going to put in Daniel Jones. And then he probably thought to himself, well, they can't expect me to win now. I'm gonna have a rookie quarterback, and then I'll get to keep my job one more year. I think that's why he made the changes as early as he did. That's my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, see, I felt, and it definitely cost him the job. See, he should have been learning from the last coach how it caused Mack to do his job.
Yeah,
like Eli did so much for the Jazz, man. We haven't had a quarterback that good in a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? I watch Kurt Warner at the end of his career trying to win with him, and then I watched Kerry Collins was bad, man.
Yeah, well, Kerry Collins had his moments, but overall, yeah, he was No, I mean, listen, man, I love Eli. I love Eli forever. I got to the point where I realized it was time to move on, but I love Eli. I will never badmouth Eli. I know he meant the world to me, and he meant the world to most Giant fans. So, we got to hope that Daniel Jones gives us half of what Eli did. If he gives me one Super Bowl, I'll be thrilled. I got a couple people calling in, man. I just want to say thank you for the call. Thank you for the great.
Okay, no problem, man. Hey, keep it up. Keep up the good work, man. You're doing a good job.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the love, man. I really do appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, 1 second. Just want to get this super chat by Roldy, one of my best, man. Roldy with a $5 super chat. He says, I can't tell you as a fan how much I appreciate what you do for us fans. 1 second. Just want to finish reading this 2 super chats. He says, I can't tell you as a fan how much I appreciate what you do for us fans. I don't always agree with you, but that's what makes it fun. Yeah, listen, man. If you always agreed with me, it would be so boring. Like, who would want to always agree with me? That would be the most boring thing in the world. But that's what I love about YouTube. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion, and sometimes you're going to think I'm nuts, and sometimes you're going to think I'm not. But as long as you respect it, and I'm always open to criticism as long as it's respectful. But I appreciate the love, man. Thank you very much. And I think I got one more, and then we'll get to hopefully a great conversation. But let me just make sure I didn't miss it. Cruz, I got a couple. I just want to make sure I don't miss these. Kashendra, man, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. He says, stay safe out there. Yes, with coronavirus running wild. There was actually a case by me in my town. Scary stuff, man. Hopefully everybody's safe out there. Cruz on with a $2 super chat. He says, get a damn offensive tackle. We have to develop Jones properly. Man, you're preaching to the choir. And I know Cruz on and me think alike there. Cruz on and me don't always agree on everything. There's a subscriber who respects me, doesn't agree with everything I say. That's one aspect we definitely agree with. And what do we got here? Zeke, thank you for the $5 super chat. It says, pass rush is everything. Back end will be much better. No need to spend crazy. This game is about the quarterback on offense and affecting the quarterback. Listen, man, that's football 101, man. You got to be able to get after the quarterback and protect your quarterback. I couldn't say it better myself. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Long time no chat, man. How you been?
What's going? Is this this is oh, I know the voice. I know this is the Mustard Bus. Mustard Bus?
No.
Oh, damn. Who is it?
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Go Broncos. That's God. God. Go ahead, tell me the name. I'm gonna know it. Tell me the name.
It's A. Fizzle.
Yes. How you doing, Fizzle, man? How you doing?
I've been good. How about yourself, man?
I'm getting ready for baseball season. I know you're a big Braves fan.
Yeah, I'm ready for baseball season, too.
Yeah,
but I'm glad I caught your stream because I do have a serious question. You know, with you being a Giants fan, I know you can fill me on this.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
We just got Pat Shermer. Mm-hmm. So what do I need to look forward to? You know, coming from him, you know, as far as like our offense, like, what's your honest opinion about what to expect from Pat Shermer?
Fizzle, yeah, man. A lot of Giants. There is one opinion that I have. We were just talking about people who disagree with my opinion. I think I was much more pro Shermer than a lot of Giants fans. Not that I thought he was a good head coach. He wasn't. But when it comes to being an offensive coordinator, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think you guys got to steal. I think he's a very good offensive coordinator, and I think he's going to do very well for your quarterback. I actually love the fit for the Denver Broncos. He's been a very successful offensive coordinator his entire career. All you got to do is go back and look at history. When he's an OC, he got career years out of 3 different quarterbacks. He got a career year out of Nick Foles, got a career year out of Sam Bradford, got a career year out of Case Keenum, and he had a rookie quarterback last year with Daniel Jones that he got a very good year out of. So if I was a Broncos fan, I'd actually be very happy with that hire. I think he's good with quarterbacks. I think you got a good hire there.
I sure as hell hope so.
No, listen, I would tell you the truth, man. I could easily badmouth the guy. We fired him. I think he's going to do a real. I'm rooting for him. I like Pat. I think he's a good guy. Just wasn't a good head coach, and I actually think he's going to do a really good job for you guys.
Just because you're my guy, you know, like if anything you were bad, I would tell me about it. I'm gonna go with that. All right.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you how I feel, man. That's my honest opinion. I think you guys got a really good hire there, and I think he's really good for a young quarterback.
Yeah, I would fix our offensive line. You know, I know how y'all, you know, the Broncos. I know how it feels about the offensive line woes that y'all been having because we be having them too over here.
Yeah, yeah. We've had a bad offensive line now for years. You guys used to have a great offensive line with Shanahan back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys used to have that athletic offensive line. I remember that.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay, man.
All right. And one more thing. I'm gonna make this quick. How you feel about your Mets this season? Switch your subjects like it. How you feel about your Mets?
How do I feel about my Mets? I can't wait for baseball season. I think that I'm going to be honest. I think your Braves are the clear-cut favorite in the division, but I do think the Mets are very good. I think it's the toughest division in baseball. I think any one of the top 4 teams can win it, and any one of the top 4 teams could go to the World Series. I think it's a really good division, and I can't wait to watch it, man. And I tried to watch that video you were telling me about. I couldn't find. I was scanning through your videos. Do me a favor and drop the link because I was looking for it. Put it in the comments and I'll definitely check it out.
All right. If I don't catch you at the end of this video, I'll drop it on you on Twitter too. So
Put it on the Twitter. I'll definitely see it if you put it on the Twitter.
All right, that's all I wanted to talk to you about, man. You got a good show going on. I'm gonna sit back and listen to it. I know you want to talk more Giants football.
No, man. I always like getting a little extra, something on the outside. So, yeah, I enjoy talking Pat Shermer with you. Thanks for the call, man.
All right, no problem.
You got it. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Entertainer?
What's going on? And Moose, by the way, of course, anybody could call in, man. Who's this?
This is Kush, the Hub.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Kush.
Oh, yeah, what's up, man? This guy, by the way, anybody that has not checked out the Hub, going over there and check it out. I love this guy. What's up, man?
Thank you, man. How you doing, bro? I heard when you said there was a scare in the town that you live. I hope everything's okay there.
Yeah, there was somebody, I think she's like 42. Somebody got the virus. I don't know anything more than that. But, yeah, somebody has it probably about 15 minutes from where I live.
Man, that's really scary because I go to 100 College that's in Manhattan, and so there's cases there, so I know how you feel on that end right there. That's kind of scary.
My ex-girlfriend went to 100 College. That's a good school. Well, it depends what you go. It depends what you're going for. I think she went for social work, but yeah, it's a good school.
Yeah, let's get off the sad, scary topic. Listen, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because I looked at your mock draft, obviously. So that you think that Isaiah Simmons may come to the Giants. It's been a while. Well, it's been a couple of days, but if, new information comes out every day. Do you still heavily believe the Giants are going to go Simmons, or do you think they might go OT?
Yeah, I obviously had Simmons going to the Giants in my mock. Right now, it's really just like impossible for me to have a definitive feeling until after free agency and seeing what the Giants do. But if Simmons is there, I at least right now, I would say that there's a 50% chance at least that we take him.
Yeah, I hear you there.
But I still stand by that offensive line to me is still our number one priority. I still think we need to fix the offensive line. But you know what? At the end of the day, Saquon Barkley, the running back, was not our number one priority, and Dave Gettleman saw a prospect he couldn't pass up. So linebacker's definitely a big hole. I'm not going to be upset if they take Simmons. That's for sure.
I definitely agree with you there. Like, I'm on the same page. I wanted to take an OT because I think that it's, like you said, it's the number one priority. Wouldn't be mad if we take Simmons because, honestly, he drops to number 4. He is the best player available. You can't go wrong when you take the best player available, in my opinion. But also, I'm starting to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm starting to, prefer Simmons as the best defensive player overall just because middle linebacker, when you have middle linebacker on your team, it's different from when you have just a stud pass rusher and just one pass rusher. Sometimes the stud pass rusher could get closed off because there is nobody else on the team that could get to the quarterback, but the middle linebacker can always affect the opposing offense in some way, you know what I'm
saying? You know what? It's a great point. And I was talking to somebody, I forget who it was, a couple of callers, but the linebacker position, I think, is the most undervalued position in football. And that's a great point because when you're going up against a great left tackle or you could double team the guy, you can neutralize a pass rusher. Now, of course, if they got to use 2 guys, it's going to help out another pass rusher. But the linebacker is incredibly important. He's the Mike. He's the guy that sets up the defense. And he's the type of guy that's hard to game plan for, too, because you could drop him back in coverage. You could rush the pass. He could do everything. And he's got side-to-side quickness. So even though I would still go Chase Young, I put a poll up on my channel yesterday, and 34% voted for Isaiah Simmons over Chase Young. I would still go Chase Young. But I definitely see – you could definitely argue that the linebacker position is just as valuable. It really is. It's so important in today's game. When the quarterback is getting the ball out of his hand in 2 seconds, you need somebody that could take the short throws away. You also need a guy who could keep up with the quarterback, because a lot of times the quarterback will take off and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And also, I guess, if you want to point out a recent example, you could look at dudes like Luke Kuechly when he came in, what he did for the Panthers defense. Even more recent, I forget the guy's name, Leonard, I think, for the Colts last year. Now, obviously, he wasn't the only player they added, but he was a huge reason for, why the Colts defense got really good in that season when Andrew Luck retired, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look at the Steelers. I was saying it earlier. They who was the kid they drafted last year with the 10th pick? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Devin Bush.
What was his name?
Devin Bush, right?
Yeah. Devin Bush, and then they got T.J. Watt. They got Bud Dupree. That's a team that spends early assets. Bud Dupree was a first-round pick. T.J. Watt was a first-round pick, and and Bush was a first-round pick. Some teams, I think, have acknowledged that the linebacker position is a lot more important than others. I think the Giants are one of those teams that hasn't yet. They haven't drafted a first-round linebacker, like we said, since Carl Banks.
Okay, yeah. And, who are you looking at, say we do go offensive tackle? Which, once again, it's still my hope that we go there, because I find it really important. You've mentioned it a couple times on the stream now. You don't really want to waste that second overall pick that we spent on Barkley, and it's more important for the safety of Daniel Jones and his development. If we do go offensive tackle, what other linebackers are you looking at to possibly get for a starting middle linebacker, maybe in second, third round?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you do that, you're hoping a guy like Patrick Queen drops in the second round. I personally don't think he will. You're hoping the kid from Oklahoma, what's his name again? The guy at Oklahoma, it's escaped my mind right now, but he's being mocked.
I think it's Murray, something Murray, right?
Yeah, Murray, yeah. You're hoping one of those.
Murray, I could be slipping in line too.
You're hoping one of those two drops to you in the second round. I don't think they will. I would not go linebacker in round 2 if one of those two did not fall. Obviously, you could go with a guy like Bourne. That's a guy that I definitely got my eye on. He's more of like a pass rusher, though.
I love Bourne. By the way, I want to say, man, you did a great video on Bourne because he's both. He kind of fits both that edge rusher / he can play a little bit of middle linebacker, which is why you think that versatility could be a reason to target him.
I love Bourne. I absolutely love Bourne. One of my subscribers actually put me on to him. Dire Giants fan, I think it was, or Big Blue for Life maybe. But I checked him out, man. I was very impressed with Bourne. And I think he is a definite possibility in round 2, depending on what we do in the first round. I'll tell you right now who I'm leaning with in terms of the offensive line. I know most Giant fans are leaning with Becton, and I don't blame him. The guy is huge. I'm leaning with Wirfs because, as I was saying to one of my listen, man, I would not be upset with any of these guys, but I look at Wirfs, man, and I look at what he's capable of doing with a guy like Saquon Barkley, his athleticism and his ability to be a lead blocker, on a run to the outside or a screen pass. I like Wirfs' athletic ability and his strength. I'm leaning Wirfs right now. I think he fits this offensive line very well.
Not bad. You know why? Because after his combine, I will admit, and I say this all the time too, I'm like, hey, just because the dude has a great combine doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a great player, but Wirfs has a little bit of everything. And after the combine, he's really closing in on my favorite tackle spot. For me, it's still Thomas. I loved Andrew Thomas since about November, December when I started hearing about him. I still think he's the best, but Wirfs is definitely climbing, man.
Yeah, and Wills is really good too. They're all really good, all 4 of them. So it's a really tough question to answer. It really is.
I'd like to suggest a player for you to look at if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So for my mock draft video, I'm doing I'm doing a 7-round mock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil the entire thing, of course, but I have us going in the 3rd round with this guy, Logan Wilson, out of Wyoming. Middle linebacker, really good in top coverage, and also he's really good in the zone defense for run coverages. I think you should look into it, let us know what you think, but he's a really good, kind of under the radar linebacker.
I'll definitely give him a look. Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. I'll definitely give him a look.
Out of Wyoming, yeah. He also played quarterback before he switched to linebacker. So, that's something interesting to think about, too.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 240, so it's not like he's undersized or anything, but definitely an interesting player to look at.
Definitely, I'm always open to suggestions. Listen, I saw what I love about doing these live shows. You guys give me just as much suggestions as I give you, so I appreciate it, man. I'll definitely give them a look, man, and keep up the great work on your channel. I got a couple of calls calling in, but yeah, if you guys have not checked out The Hub, go and do it. Love the guy. He's been on my channel before. I want to have him on again, hopefully after the draft, and once I'm not crazy and I got him, it dies down a little bit. I definitely want to have you on the channel, and hopefully even for a mock draft soon after free agency.
No problem, man. I'd love to come on for like one of those live night mock drafts after free agency. Thank you once again, Ben.
You got it, man. Have a good one, buddy. Hey, what's going on? 1 second. Just want to read these 2 super chats. Cruz on, man. Thanks for love, man. $5 super chat. He says, this is a top-heavy offensive tackle draft. The Fab Four are gone in the top 15 of the draft. Jackson and Jones are also gone before our 36th pick. We cannot wait. And they definitely could be. If you look at a lot of mock drafts, I have seen both of those guys creep up into the first round. They definitely could be. It would not shock me if the top 6 or 7 tackles are gone before we pick in the second round. It's a great point you bring up. And it's why I kind of want to trade down, because I think you could still get a guy like Wirfs or Becton with the 6th or 7th pick or whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm not – listen, man, I would love to take an offensive tackle, man. It would put my mind at ease. And, oh, man, thanks so much, Nate Paul with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for the love. And a $2 donation from BS. He says, Wirfs, linebackers have a way higher injury probability. They do. They definitely do. And I am – the more I watch a Wirfs on film and at that combine, the more I'm becoming a fan of him. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Who's this?
It's the Italian Stallion.
What's up?
The Gabagool. The bend. The sexy. White chocolate. How are you doing, baby?
What is going on, Isaiah? I love Isaiah, man. How you been, buddy?
I'm good, man. I know it's been a little while, man. I haven't been getting a chance to talk to you. It's good to hear from you, Christopher. You're looking great, feeling sexy. I'm in love with you. Gabagool. I love this guy.
I love Isaiah, man. I've gotten to meet Isaiah a couple of times in person. I got to talk to Sim next year. I'm definitely going to one of those Knick games with you guys next time you do it. Love Isaiah, man. Isaiah's the man, and I always love talking to you, man. And I know you're pumped up about the draft, and a couple times you've come into my videos. From what I've gathered, I think you're pro Isaiah Simmons.
Oh, man. I am, Chris, but here's the thing. We need a tackle, man. We need it. We need it in the worst way. And I'm really torn because there's a lot of great tackles in this first round, and somebody said, there's going to be 7 tackles gone in the first round easily.
Yeah, minimum 6, minimum.
Minimum. Now here's the thing: do we want to get? Now here's torn, Chris, because I feel like Isaiah Simmons will be the guy.
Right.
He will be the guy, but then it's like, can we actually afford to go another year without picking a tackle?
It's a catch-22, man, and it's a tough decision. To me, the only way that, if I'm the GM, the only way I could justify taking defense with that pick, being that I have a second-year quarterback and Saquon Barkley, is if I address it in free agency. And if they do that, if you get Conklin or if you get Bulaga, then maybe you can wait until round 2 to fill in the center position or whatever it may be. But if you don't get a starting offensive lineman in free agency, I honestly don't see how you could wait to round 2.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Chris. From what your research is telling you, didn't you say Conklin's most likely headed to the Jets?
That came out, and then somebody rebutted that. So who knows? You know, I think Conklin's on the Giants' radar. I think he's a possibility. But here's the problem with Conklin. He is far and away the best offensive tackle in this year's free agency class. So there's going to be 10 teams trying to get him. So maybe we'll get him, but at the end of the day, he's going to get to choose wherever he wants to go.
Yeah, exactly. See, my heart's telling me Isaiah Simmons, but I believe the Giants have to play the long game. The Giants have to play the long game, and it hurts me to say this because I wholeheartedly, in my heart, believe Isaiah Simmons is going to be the guy.
Well, here's what I'll say. If you feel like Isaiah Simmons is going to be the guy, and I'm talking about, if you feel like he's going to be an all-pro player, you have to take him. So it's a tough decision, man. I'm hoping they get Conklin, because then that frees up everything. If you get Conklin, you could take anybody.
See, I agree with you, Chris, because if the Giants can somehow, and it sucks because he's going to ask for at least 18. He's probably going to ask for 18, or maybe 19. If we can get Conklin, this changes everything. We can get Isaiah Simmons, and we can get a center, and we'll be good to go. But hey, I know people want to call in. I just want to say you are my white chocolate forever. I love you. You are my gabagool. You're gonna bend the knees, and let's go Giants.
I love Isaiah, man. I hope everything's going well with you, man. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Yeah. I love you too, man. Have a good one, man.
Have a good one. Isaiah's the man. Isaiah. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. What's going on? Who's this?
This is James in Kentucky. I did not expect to actually get through at some point.
What's up? You said James?
James, yeah.
What's going?
Cincinnati, Ohio / Northern Kentucky area.
I appreciate the call, man. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was wanting to know if you had a better combination of pass rusher in the first round / offensive tackle / offensive line in the second round, or if you preferred tackle, offensive line in the first round, and then pass rusher in the second round because you think some guys like A.J. Epinesa would fall.
Okay, so your question is, where do I think I get more value if I go offensive tackle at 4 and pass rusher at 37 or 36, or if I go defense at 4 and offense? I don't even think it's a debate. If we're talking strictly value, you're getting much better value on defense in the second round than you are offensive line. I don't even think it's a debate. Because the top 6 are gone, and I think after the top 4 offensive linemen, you don't know what you're going to get. None of these guys are guaranteed starting tackles. No, first off, nobody's a guaranteed starting tackle. You never know. But the top 4 to me are so far and away better than especially the top 6. And as far as defense goes, I think you're going to get like a Julian Okwara. I think he has a lot of upside. You could potentially get him. You could get Matos. Who knows? Maybe Epinesa falls to you there. I think that you're going to get more value if you go defense in the second round and you go offensive tackle in the first. But the question is, do you think Isaiah Simmons is an all-pro player? If you do, he's hard to pass up.
Well, I appreciate you answering my question. I honestly just called in because I've been last week and a half, which I'm sure you can hear. So I've been kind of listening to any and all opinions I can get at the Giants. And then obviously I'm from Cincinnati, so I'm looking at Cincinnati's options. But that's pretty much guaranteed to be Joe Burrow. So I appreciate you taking my call and even answering the question. I didn't expect it to happen at all.
I appreciate you. That was a good question. I appreciate you calling in and showing some support to the channel, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, buddy. You have a good one.
You too, my man.
Sleep tonight.
All right, buddy. Let me read these super chats real quick. 1 second, just want to read these 2 super chats. MYG31, man, great supporter of the channel. He's got a channel himself. He says, I hope we pick Tristan Wirfs in this draft. And I think a lot of the people that are pro offensive line, I think more and more people are getting on the Wirfs train. And thanks for the love. And Cruzon agrees with you right after. He says, I want Wirfs and Ruiz. Double up the O-line. I think a lot of Giants fans would agree with that too. I think we're kind of split here. I think half the Giants fans want that O-line. I think half the Giants fans want Isaiah Simmons. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, it's Frank from Vegas. How you doing?
What's going on, Frank? How you doing, buddy? Are you going to the draft?
Oh, actually, I'm trying to work out to see if I can make it to it. Actually, I've been trying to figure out if I can get there. Me and my brother might step over and take a look at the draft. I was big on Simmons, real big. I mean, I called in, we spoke about it last time, but there's a report that came out about his personality, that he's like a goofball kind of kid, not real serious. And he kind of likes to joke around, mess around a little too much. He's not that kind of serious leader, the kind of.
I didn't read this report. Where'd you read it?
Well, I heard it on the podcast. I was listening to it on the podcast that in some of the interviews that they kind of felt that he's kind of like a, like a class clown kind of joker, maybe more of a not serious type, and maybe wouldn't fit with the, Patriot style, Judge way that I think that he's going to implement. I think he's going to be implementing a real serious type, environment, and he might fit better on a different team than the Giants. I was thinking if we could get him, and he would be a leader on our defense, someone who could keep the other guys in line, kind of, and maybe he could be the Mike for us. I don't know, but if he's that kind of guy, then maybe it won't be a good fit for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I haven't heard that about him, but it's possible. The one thing I agree with what you said about Judge. I definitely think he's trying to implement that kind of call. I think Gettleman is too. I think even before we got Judge, I think the Giants are. I think that's why they hired Judge. I think that they want. I think that they want that business-like mentality. What Joe Judge has said. He said. Basically what he said in his press conference, we're going to acknowledge that everybody's people, everybody's got their issues, but when you enter the building, it's about football and nothing else. So I definitely think that they're going to assess these players' personalities, whether it's Isaiah Simmons or whether it's anybody else, and I think that will be a part of the drafting process. They're going to want guys that are all about football. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything about him being like a bad person or that kind of negative type thing, but I didn't want to talk bad about the kid. Just that I heard his personality is kind of a goofy kind of kid, and he's not the kind of hard-nosed, mentality kind of kid. So he was the only real defender I was thinking that we could be able to get in the first round that would make sense for us. But being that I heard this report, and I think that the way they're going to draft, they're probably going to pass on him. We're probably going to go for the lineman.
We'll see. I'm about to. I read the beginning of Josh's super chat, and I agree. I want to trade. If we're gonna go lineman in an ideal world, I want to trade down because I think you're gonna still be able to get Wirfs at 6 or whoever your offensive lineman is because nobody's taking an offensive lineman to be 4-4, and the Dolphins ain't taking an offensive lineman. They're gonna take a quarterback. So if you could trade down to 6, you're still getting your offensive lineman. So I want to try to trade down in this draft. If we're gonna go offensive lineman. And I'm kind of in favor of taking an offensive lineman. So my hope is they trade down. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Well, I mean, you're still gonna get 2 fabulous starting linemen, and the good news about taking them both at the same time, it might kind of bring back the way our guys were back in 2007 and through those years where they were, kind of growing together, working together, kind of establishing, obviously the longer they're together, the better. And so I think if you get 2 good linemen in now with, the guys we have on the line as it is, I think that'll be better because over time, over the course of the next few years, they'll only improve.
I agree. I think a line has as much to do with familiarity. I say it all the time. You could put 5 all pros on an offensive line. They might not even be that good their first year. I think you need to have cohesion. And that Giants offensive line, you remember, when they first came up, they weren't great. It took them 2-3 years of playing together to get to where they needed to be.
Yeah, and then eventually I think three of them eventually made Pro Bowls, no? Later on.
Yeah, well, Deal definitely did. Snead did. O'Hara did. Yeah, I think you're right. I think 3 of them.
So I was going to say this. The defense, I'm sad to say it, there's nothing we could do. We're just beat. We're beat right now. Defense is a dead issue. They could pick up a couple pieces, but it's a wrap. At this point, let's focus on what we can fix, which is 2 more pieces on the line, and at least we'll have a really good offense.
Well, I think that they could. They're definitely going to improve the defense.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. We're not a piece away.
No. We need, in my opinion, the players that we already have on the team to get better. We have a lot of young players on this defense. Peppers, you hope he gets better. Lorenzo Carter, Zimenez, Lawrence. We need those players to get better, and we need to supplement a couple of free agency pieces, whether it's Byron Jones or whether it's Littleton. I think we could add a couple of nice pieces on the defense and focus heavily on the defense in the draft, but we might want to go with a young offensive tackle in the first round. But I definitely think the majority of the players they add this offseason are going to be on the defensive side. It might just not be the first round pick.
and there's probably not going to be that many of them through the draft. Because how many, third, fourth, fifth round starters or fifth round players are going to actually start? Not that many. I mean, your best players. 50% of all players in the NFL right now are first and second rounders. And then I think it's something like 14% are undrafted players, and then but sixth and seventh rounds is like 2% or 3%, very low percentage. I mean, we got lucky with who was it, Slayton?
Fifth round pick. Well, sometimes you find a diamond in the rough, but you're right. Usually, at least half your starters, long term, maybe for a year you'll have them starting, but long term, they're usually going to be in the first 2 rounds, no doubt about it.
But the problem is, if we're going to bring any big names in, that's half our cap. Pick up 2 guys, that's 70 or 60% of our cap, 80% of our cap right there. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. We're not. I don't think defense can be fully fixed this year. I think we could fully fix the offense by drafting in the first round. If we trade down, we can completely overhaul this offense and have it dialed in this year. This actual year, we could have a legit offense. But defense, I think we're a ways away, no matter what they do. Honestly, I got to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, and you also have to factor in it's a completely new scheme. I think in 2 years we could have a really good defense. But yeah, I'm not going to go into this year. I mean, we arguably had the worst defense in football last year. You're not going to fix it in 1 year. It doesn't just happen like that. So
no.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we probably need 2 years before this defense is close to where we want it to be. But this year,
but offensively, at least we were scoring points. We were scoring points really well. If we get a little more protection for dimes, we can kind of maybe we can. I think we could be really good offensively this year, especially if we can run the ball, set the tone on the ground with some monster linemen out there, really bullying people. I think it could be good. Maybe our defense doesn't have to be that good. Maybe we don't need a top 5 defense. I don't know.
Well, and that in turn would help the defense if you're able to run the ball effectively. You keep the defense fresh, you keep the offense on the field. So, we'll have to wait and see, man. But, you can't really go wrong this year. The Giants have so many holes that I think it's a 2-year process anyway. So it's just a matter of how they decide they want to fill the holes, what order they want to do it in. And some people, like myself, feel like it might be smarter, knowing it's a 2-year process, to fill the offensive line in now, being that you have a second-year quarterback. You want to keep them protected. And you got Saquon Barkley, and I think an improved offense will help the defense being able to run the ball. But I'm not going to be upset either way. I recognize they need to fill both, and I recognize it's going to take more than 1 year. But I want to say thank you for the call, man, all the way from Vegas. I appreciate it, man, and enjoy the draft if you go, buddy.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, have a good one. And Josh, man, thanks so much, man, for the $5 super chat. He says, the only way I want to draft an offensive tackle is if we trade down and pick up a second rounder. 1 second, I just want to finish reading the super chat. Pick up a second rounder or a third. Listen, I'm not going to cry if they take an OT at 4, but I agree with you. I would much prefer to trade down to get that offensive tackle, being that I really think all 4 of them are very close. So I kind of agree with you. And Cruz on with the $5 super chat. He says, Gettleman screwed us when he convinced a bunch of ignorant fans that we were in win-now mode with a 38-year quarterback. We cannot rebuild and win. Yeah, the Giants tried to do, and I like Gettleman. I try to support Gettleman. I like a lot of his philosophies, but that was a mistake on Gettleman's part. Now, who knows if he was forced by Mara to try to do both at the same time? We'll never know. A lot of people think that, that Mara said that he had to be the starter, Eli Manning. We'll never know that. But, yeah, you can't rebuild and win at the same time. It's just not feasible. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
So, Chris, who do you have with your Giants 7th round draft pick?
Oh, God. Slurpee on the phone, and Slurpee does 7-round mocks every day. What's up, buddy? How you been?
I've been good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. Talking Giants football. In terms of the 7th round, probably a running back. I'll probably go with a running back in the 7th round, maybe the 6th.
Fair. So I got 2 questions. The first one, so we have Mekhi Becton, who's a big guy with long arms. We have Tristan Wirfs, who's more of a jack of all trades when it comes to athleticism. Andrew Thomas, who's more the reliable guy. And then we have Jedrick Wills. Rate the top 4 of them for the Giants in terms of drafting them at pick 4.
It's so tough, man. They're all so close for me. But I had Jedrick Wills number 1 before the combine, with Andrew Thomas being a close second. Right now, if you ask me today, I would have Wirfs number one. I would have Wirfs number one because I like I said to one of my previous callers, I love how athletic this guy is, and I think he's incredibly safe. Because, yeah, we don't know if he's going to be a right tackle or a guard. He's not a left tackle. I agree that's early to take a right tackle, which is why I'd like to trade down. I think you start him at the right tackle, and if you feel like he's better to move to the guard, that's what you do. But I think he's going to be a very good offensive lineman no matter what. I think he's incredibly safe. And I love his athletic ability. The guy ran a 4 whatever. He was tops in everything. And I look at it like if you're going to be running a lot of screen passes, a lot of end arounds to the, on the outside, whether it's the wide receiver, whether it's the running back, he's the type of guy that could be a lead blocker. He has that athletic ability to go out and do that. So if I had to pick one right now, I would pick Wirfs 1. And the other 3, I mean, they're almost neck and neck. I mean, I change my opinion every day. I'd probably have Wills 2, Thomas 3, and Becton 4, but I could easily have Becton 1. You can make the argument for any. I'd be happy with any one of them. I think they all could be very good.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like Mekhi Becton. He's just that big guy that any quarterback would love. He's kind of like a wall, really. He's huge. And then my second question, Julian Okwara, the guy who we thought would light up the combine, his stock did fall a little bit, so there is a big possibility we could draft him in the second round, maybe even the third round. What do you think about him?
You said Weaver? Is that what you said?
Julian Okwara.
Oh, Okwara. Listen, you know I like Okwara. I think he's got great upside. Yeah, if we go offensive line in the first round, Okwara is one of the guys I'm looking at. I think he's got phenomenal upside. I think we're going to have to wait till his pro day because he only did the bench reps at the combine because I think he's still recovering from an injury. So we'll see what he does at his pro day in terms of his 40 time and whatever else he does. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Okwara. I think he's got very high upside. He's very athletic. Yeah, I think if third round, it's a no doubter. I mean, we wouldn't get him in the third round because we got the comp pick. I don't think he's falling outside of the top 100 picks. But yeah, I wouldn't be upset if we take him in the second round, that's for sure.
All right, well, yeah. I didn't really come prepared today, so those are my 2 questions.
No, man, great question, buddy. Great question.
Chris, you work on that 7-round mock draft. I expect it from you soon. Everyone subscribe, the best YouTuber on the planet, and thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate the love, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Nobody's stock is falling for NFL GMs. They already know these players mostly. Big Daddy, you're right. We could all have our own opinions, but at the end of the day, these scouts and these GMs, and Big Daddy, great subscriber. All you guys are great. But at the end of the day, all these GMs have been scouting these guys for months. They've been watching film. So they had their opinions going into the combine, and the guys they love, they probably still love. And we've heard that, at least the names that have been leaked, we've heard that Gettleman loves Wirfs. We've heard that Gettleman who was the other? Oh, Becton, right? But more so Wirfs. Wirfs has been the name that we've heard connected to Gettleman. But we'll see if we get a couple more callers. If not, we'll call it a night about 10:30. But thank you to everybody for being here. He says Wirfs will be a guard in the NFL, not an offensive tackle. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that. A lot of people seem to think that he'll be a guard long term. I appreciate that, King Diplomats. Thank you very much, buddy. Okwara looks like Deion. How nasty would the line be, either Becton or Wirfs next to Moody? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, Entertainer? It's Justin.
What's going
on? Yank King.
Uh-oh. Hot take. What's up, buddy?
I've seen a little bit of the chat that I've got off work from. I legitimately despise that Giants fans are in win now mode.
Sorry, Jarvis. No, I'm talking to chat. I thought he was talking about a nickname on somebody that's already on the Giants. Okay. But go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Oh my God. How do I explain this? We are not in win now mode. We are nowhere close. There's no way we can bring in free agents and then, hey, we're in win now mode. Not realistic at all.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I've tried to say that all along, that I don't, anything could happen. It's the NFL, but I'm not going into this year expecting a Super Bowl. You got, I
have our young guys be playing, and then it's like, all right, screw it. See who we can deal before the draft. That who looks good, who can we trade, who can we get draft picks for.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I want these 2 trades made so bad. One with the Chargers, where we get the 6th, their 2nd, and a 2021 2nd, and they get the 4th. And we trade with the Raiders, we get the 12th, 19th, and a 2021 3rd for the 6th. And then we have 12 and 19.
Listen. I would love that too. I just think you're in fantasy land. I don't see the Giants trading down twice. I just don't see it. It's not going to happen. If they're going to trade down, it'll happen once. And I think 6 is probably the most realistic spot that it would happen at. They're not going to trade down to 6 and then trade down to 12. It's just not going to happen.
We need picks badly.
I agree with you, but it's not. They're not going to. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to trade down twice.
Well, I know we haven't seen it ever happen in the NFL. It's never happened before in the NFL that a team is traded down twice.
I mean, maybe it has. I can't.
In the top pick, maybe in the lower rounds, in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round.
Maybe, but it's not going to happen though. There's no way that'll happen. But 6 is definitely a possibility, and that exact trade is what I would think we would get. Now, one thing I will say, and I think Fireside Giants brought it up initially, and I thought it was a great point. If you make that trade with the Chargers, if there's a player that drops to 24 that you really like, you could then take 36 and 37, pair them up, and try to move up and get that player. That's a possibility, but I don't see them trading down twice. No way.
Yeah, I'm not moving back up. Even if there's a player I like, I'm not moving back up.
You just want to keep.
No way.
You just want to get as many players as you could get.
Yes, I want as many pieces, as many players as I can grab up.
Yeah.
As possible.
I
would even go out there and shop a couple people. It's like, all right, shopping them, see what I can get.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think the most realistic guy would be. Go ahead.
And people are going to hate this. I would even shop Barkley,
Ingram,
no. Shepard, Tate.
You just will not accept. I mean, I listen. I understand everybody's got their own opinions, and I understand that some people think the Giants should trade Barkley. But I think we all need to realize, and I keep trying to reiterate this every time I do this show, they're not going to trade Barkley. It will never happen ever. It's not going to happen. Barkley is going to be on the New York Giants. I promise you. Barkley will be a New York Giant. Unless, of course, he gets a career-ending injury. Barkley will be a New York Giant.
I don't care if I get 2 second-round picks for Barkley. I'm just like, all right, fine, I'll trade them.
We're not
getting nothing better than 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, fine, I'm dealing him.
We're not trading him. I promise you. And if I'm wrong, you can come back here and call him and tell me I'm wrong. But they're not trading him. Barkley's going to be.
Gettleman has basically put himself against the wall.
There's no wall.
Because we have what?
He took Barkley.
2 picks.
What do you mean we
3?
have?
2 picks in the top 100. That's an awful way to build this team up.
Well, we got 3 picks because we got the comp pick, but.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind, 3.
Yeah, we got 3 picks and we got an early and we got cap space. You got to give Gettleman credit for that. When he came here, we were in cap hell. He's given us cap space. So, I know there's a lot of people that are very anti-Gettleman. I know there's a lot of people that are very pro-Gettleman. I try to be in the middle. I can't hide. I try to be in the middle. But I think
try to be in the middle.
I think everybody I think everybody that is very anti-Gettleman, I think, and I wouldn't have been upset if they got rid of him because I thought maybe you do a fresh start with the coach. I think everybody that we got to give Gettleman a chance here. He's the guy. You got to hope his plan works out. It's the first year he has cap space since he's been the GM. Let him have a year, and then you could judge him. Let's see if this team gets going in the right direction. That's what I'll say about that. But, man,
yeah, when we were in cap hell,
yeah,
he should have tanked it. He should have said, all right, I am shopping everybody.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
If I can get a draft pick for everybody.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, man.
He should do the same thing this year.
But it's not going to happen. They're trying to get this team going in the right direction. They've drafted a lot of young talent. They're now, the way I look at it is the Giants have already hit rock bottom. Now they've got young talent. They're trying to establish that talent, and now they're trying to go up the hill. They're not gonna blow everything up. They've got young talent. Now they need to bring in guys that'll help that young talent progress. They're not blowing this team up. But I'm gonna let you go, man. I got a couple people calling in. I just want to say thank you for the call, buddy.
All right, later.
All right, my man. 1 second. Just want to read a couple super chats here. Thank you guys for love, man. I appreciate it. Cruz on, man, with the $5 super chat. He says, Gettleman screwed us when he convinced a bunch of ignorant fans that we... Oh, I think I already read that one. But thank you, Cruz on, for the love. 1 second. Slava my broccoli Rob. Thanks for love, man. He says, your ranking shouldn't change much off the meaningless combine. It's still Wills, Thomas, Wirfs, Becton for me. Yeah, no, that's fair to say. And I watched some film. I definitely watched film, and I watched experts talk about the players. To me, they were all so very close. And when I saw Wirfs do what he's able to do, and I thought about what he could do with Saquon Barkley, I just think he might fit the New York Giants better than the others. But like I said, it's like splitting hairs for me. I like all of them. Let's see what we got here. Cruz on, thanks for love, man. Is anyone dumb enough to think we're in win now mode? I hope not. Well, you never know, man. There are some people out there that think we could win a Super Bowl. And Independent Man, another great subscriber of mine. Thank you very much. It's $5 super chat. He says, in your opinion, what's most economically effective way to fill two needs for the Giants in free agency? Take draft position in account. Good job as always. All right. Ooh, that's a great question. I just got to think about that for 1 second. In your opinion, what's the most economically effective way to fill two needs for the Giants? Okay. We're talking economically effective. I think the linebacker position, if you could get Littleton for $15 million, because that's cheaper than what Byron Jones is reportedly commanding at 18, and he would fill a huge void. And I think bringing in a guy like Van Noy, a veteran, and that is what I would do, and maybe a McCourty, bringing guys at cost-effective deals that's economically effective, and you're filling in holes, something like that. And I got another thing I want to talk about, but first I'm going to talk to you. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Who's this?
This is formerly FMG LM Darth Boulder, now Boulder Picks.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. You know, been a Giants fan since 1977, and all the new Giants fans really make me laugh, man. Y'all guys kind of funny, but you're spoiled. So that's why it's so funny, you know, because you don't remember how bad it was before we got Parcells and Sims and LT and the Wrecking Crew. And
no, I don't know. I'll be the first to say I didn't live through that. I started watching the Giants probably 92, 93. That's when I started to realize I was like 8.
Oh, so you became a Giants fan during the Ray Hanley era? My hat's off to you, bro.
Yeah, so I definitely had my tough periods. You know, I saw Dave Brown, I saw Danny Cannell. And this has been horrible these last 3 years. It has not been, well, even.
Let me tell you why. I know I cut you off. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you why, right? Because the Mara panicked over the Tom Coughlin situation with players. So Tom switched up, got the players on board with him. We won 2 Super Bowls. But in the process, we had some really bad luck. I mean, I'm not superstitious, so I don't believe in luck, but misfortune, right? Bad things happened. And they happen all the time to lots of different teams, so it was just our time to go through it. But we're not the Cowboys. You know, we don't throw away perfectly good head coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to bounce back from this. We went through some bad head coaches. It was Tom's time to go. I wasn't mad about him stepping down, but I really wanted him to step up and
become in the front office like he did with the Jaguars.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is the thing, right? So what do you think regarding, because I really called in about what's going on now. What do you think about this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Simmons with our 4th pick.
Okay.
and Lucas Niang. I think he's from USC. Offensive lineman.
In the
second.
Well, if you're gonna go Simmons,
And I'll take your response off the air so you can get more calls.
oh, you know, I mean, it's late in the night. I'm not getting a lot right now. It's kind of dying down. But if you're here's what I'll say: if you're going Isaiah Simmons in the first round, you know, whoever they feel is that Austin Jackson, I think is the guy from USC. But whoever you feel is the best offensive lineman there, if you're the Giants, I think you have to take him if you're going Simmons, whether it's the center Ruiz or whether it's a tackle. I think you force yourself, unless we get Conklin, which I don't think we're going to. I think you force yourself to take an offensive lineman in the second round. Yeah, I think we all would. I would love to get Jack Conklin on this football team, but
dreams come true.
yeah, you never know, man. But yeah, if we take Simmons, I think we're going online in round 2. I'd be shocked if we don't.
Right. I mean, because this is the thing. One of the things that disturbs me is when we start patterning the way we pick, and you know, offensive. Like we've been picking a lot of offense, and the offense has been bad anyway. You know, or not to say not necessarily bad, because in my opinion, everybody who's getting on Gettleman about, well, I'll get back to that point in a second, but I like the fact that, you know, you got to switch it up sometimes. Not because it's just a matter of switching it up just for the sake of, but because you're neglecting your defense too much. You know, and I had, to quote myself, I told Paul Dottino last year, the Gettleman, the mistake that Gettleman made by not taking Josh Allen was that we you know, he's not giving us an identity anymore. You know, he's taking our identity away. So I asked John Schmelk to explain to me what the New York Giants identity is now. And it was convoluted. And I told him right then and there, I said, that was a convoluted answer. But actually, I couldn't even tell him it was convoluted because they hang up on me after I make a...
Yeah.
When I ask them hard questions, they hang up on me. I always ask the hard questions.
Well, listen, man. My answer to that is they don't have an identity. That's why they haven't been good. They don't.
Exactly.
They're not.
We need to build that defense back, son.
They don't have an identity. Whether it's on offense or defense, they don't have a team. I want to get back to Giants football. I want to get back to, but on both sides. On both sides, I think you need to be able to run the ball too. I want to get back to a ground and pound team, and I want to get back to a defense. I want to get back. They need both. They need to fix both. But yeah, I definitely want to improve the defense. I always say that. I don't want people to think just because I'm so pro. Yeah,
why you want what you want, right?
Yeah.
The reason why you want the ground and pound is because ground and pound only works when you got that smash mouth defense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think one helps the other. I think if you're a team that could run the ball the way that we were able to run the ball, you know, when we had that strong offensive line, it helps your defense. It keeps them fresh. I think one one complements the other.
I don't always agree with you, Chris, honestly, but I love your show. So, I support you the best I can. However,
I appreciate. No, I know. Listen, man, it would be boring. I say that all the time. You'd be bored if you always agree. You'd be bored if you always agreed with me.
So you can get it too. Anybody can get it, and you're about to get it right now.
Let's hear it.
So
Let's hear it.
Here's the thing, right? The ground and pound that is now it's this prolific ground and pound smash mouth running game that we had with Brandon Jacobs. You know, at one point it was Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? Because we had Brandon Jacobs. I can't remember.
Derek Ward.
Derek Ward. And then
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, right? And Bradshaw is a real cool dude too. But they were not that good. Like, people are...
No, they weren't. But what was good was the offensive line, which is what I want to fix.
No. The running backs were that good. But the offensive line is who I'm saying was not that good. This offensive line...
I disagree. You're talking about
This offensive line was who was picked in the top 10 of the draft.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not necessarily saying they were early first round picks, but as a unit,
That's what I'm saying.
as a
That's what I'm
unit,
saying.
though,
So we don't have to panic. We don't have to panic and pick a first round draft choice. We did that with Flowers and failed.
well, Flowers was not a good pick. I'm not saying that it can't be a flop, but that offensive line was very good. I'm not, maybe they didn't spend the top 10 pick on one, but that offensive line was very good.
Do you gamble?
Very little.
I don't gamble much at all. But I will do this. I will gamble on one person who, if you pick him, he can cover a very large chunk of that field, as opposed to one person who you pick him and he's only protecting one side of the quarterback's, backside.
See, you're comparing Simmons to a left tackle, is what you're saying.
Basically, or a right tackle. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think there's arguments for both sides. I think that's what's great about sports. I think that's what's great about talking sports. We're not always going to agree. I think we both agree that both things need to be fixed. It's just a matter of where you prioritize it. So, yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like the idea of prioritizing it with Simmons first? Nang, do you know about Nang?
No. I know who you're talking about. Like I've said, I'm going to be happy no matter what they do with that first pick because, within reason, because I know they have so many holes. I'm going to be happy if they take a tackle. I'm going to be happy if they take Simmons. I'm going to be happy if they take Okudah. As long as they do the opposite with the next pick. If they go offensive line, get your pass rusher in the second round. If you go Simmons, get your offensive lineman in the second round. They have so many holes. So I'm going to understand both sides of it. I just am of the mindset that I would sooner try to address the offensive line, but I completely get both sides of the spectrum.
Man, I wouldn't be mad. Honestly, like I said, I want Nang because I don't think Nang is a big drop-off from any of the guys that you've mentioned earlier. The four, you got Wirfs.
Well, if that's the way you feel, and if Gettleman feels that way, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what we feel. If Gettleman and Joe Judge feel what you feel, the smarter approach would be to take Simmons. If they feel like they could get but by the same token, if they don't feel that way, it might be smarter to take the offensive lineman. If they feel like there's no starting caliber offensive lineman after round one, might be smarter to go that way. So it's all going to come down to what they feel, not and where they think they can get the most value in each round.
Yeah, we can't just talk the defense to death. We got to actually put some personnel in there aside from a nose tackle or, an interior D lineman. We got to, that's not I'm not even going to complain about Lawrence, but at the end of the day, I would have did Josh Allen, then Dexter Lawrence.
Well, I don't know if you remember my channel last year. I think if you were,
I was on it. I was on it with you. At that time. We were saying that Gettleman wouldn't even do that shit. We were like,
at least we both.
Well, we love Gettleman. He's smart. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so we agree there. We both agreed with Josh Allen. So that proves to you that I'm not always an offense guy. I wanted Josh Allen.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the call. That was the call to make. 10 sacks. That's 10 sacks that you put along with Marcus Golden. And now we've got, instead of 37 sacks, 47?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wouldn't translate that way, but he definitely makes the defense a lot better. There's no doubt about it. Regardless of, sack numbers, whatever it may be. Josh Allen is a freak. I still think Josh Allen's going to be one of the top 10 pass rushers in the league. But all we can do right now is hope Daniel Jones keeps doing what he did in his rookie year. That's all we can, So, hopefully Daniel Jones continues to make me look like a fool. Makes me happy.
Spilled milk is all over my face. I'm not really crying.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to let you go. I got a lot of people calling in, but I had a really good time talking to you, man. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Take care, bro.
Have a good one. Cruzon, thanks so much for the love, man. He says, hey, Madden players, build through the trenches. Cruzon is driving that point home tonight, and I love it. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, it's L.A. Lou.
I love L.A. Lou. What's going on, man? How you been, buddy?
Oh, I'm all right. It's been a while. We haven't talked for a while, so I thought I'd give you a call.
No, I always love talking to you, man. And one guy I want to talk about with you, and maybe you give us a little more insight on him, is Corey Littleton. Because to me, and I don't know what you've heard in terms of the Rams and wanting to retain Corey Littleton or not, that is a guy that I am in love with if the New York Giants could get their hands on him.
Well, Andrew Whitworth recently. We just have to see how things work. I mean, like for instance, I was actually wanted to talk to you. Something that might help us in retaining him is clearing a little more cap space. And one thing that we maybe end up doing, from what I understand, is that Rob Havenstein, our right tackle, or at least he was our right tackle, he may be on the trading block. You know.
Okay.
I mean, when he's healthy, I mean he's 6'8", 330, and he is a solid right tackle. Thing is that he lost some time due to injury, and our rookie Bobby Long out of Oklahoma stepped in and was solid. So that basically makes Havenstein and his contract expendable. And he's I mean his contract isn't outrageous or anything like that. So I'm wondering, when I look at all the mock drafts, I see the draft picks you have for a right tackle, a starting right tackle like Havenstein. What do you think would be fair in terms of a draft pick?
To be honest, I don't know a lot about him. I don't know, what's his age, what's his contract. I don't know what's the specifics there.
Well, let's put it this way: when you bring him in and he starts for you right away at right tackle, he solidifies that.
And what's he getting paid? What's he getting paid right now?
Oh, geez, I remember we gave him an extension and it was pretty reasonable. It wasn't outrageous. It was just something to lock him up. I would figure well, first of all, it's a lot less than what
Conklin.
Well, no, it's the other. You're starting the left tackle.
Oh, Solder.
Yeah, it's a lot less than what he's making.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about the player and about his contract to answer that. But it is something. I'm not giving up a first or a second round pick. The Giants have too many holes.
No.
Yeah.
For him, I would think maybe somewhere in around a fourth or a fifth.
Yeah, I'd have to do more research on the player, to be completely honest with you. And look into his contract details and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. The Giants could try to explore trade to try to fill in the offensive line. There's no doubt about it. I still think they need to get young on the offensive line because they've got no youth outside of Hernandez. There's no youth on this offensive line.
No, well, you need a center. That's plain and simple. You need a center. A top flight center, at least in the second round, I would figure. And there's a couple of good ones. That guy out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Tyler Biadasz. I mean, you could plug him in right away.
That guy, and I think he's got an injury, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he partook it, but I love that guy. When I watched him on film, I love that guy. And Ruiz had a great combine out of Michigan. He's the other center that's moved up the draft chart. So they could definitely
go. The Rams are looking at him.
The Rams are looking at Ruiz. Yeah, I've seen him mock to the Rams a few times. Yeah, I've seen him mock to the Rams a few times. He might creep up into the first because if you remember last year, who was the guy that the Vikings took? Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's a center, and he was being mocked back end of the second round. He went in the first. So Ruiz could definitely creep up into the first. I know who you're talking
about, yeah.
Yeah,
another guy who you could plug in right away is that guy out of LSU, Lloyd Cushenberry.
Yep, that's another guy that's going to probably go in the second round as well. I agree with you. I think center's definitely. I would say there's at least a 35-40% chance we're going center in the second round. Depending on what we do, we could add McGovern in free agency, but if we don't address it in free agency, I think there's a strong chance we're going center in the second round.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I think that with a lot of teams wanting to pick, either Tua or the guy out of Oregon.
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, right. I could see you guys, moving back in the draft, even if it's a few spots, and you could probably still come away with Isaiah Simmons.
We could. Depend. I mean, unless the Lions take him, which they could, but. If we drop to 5 or 6, I think we could still get Simmons. I don't think we could drop to like 9, but 5 or 6 where you could still get Simmons.
Yeah, but there's still some other edge rushers that are going to be steals in this draft just by watching them in the Senior Bowl and in the East-West Shrine game. You know, there's that guy Bradley Anai out of Utah. There's that guy Uche I think he's out of Ohio State.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Yeah.
There's some really good edge rushers out there. Alton Robinson.
Yeah, he had a bad combine though, but he was on the Giants' radar out of Syracuse. A lot of people like him. He had a bad combine though, so maybe they get him later in the draft. But yeah, he's another he was actually, if you go back and look before the year started, a lot of people had him as a top 3 or 4 pass rusher coming into this year in terms of a draft prospect.
Yeah.
So that's another guy that people have their eyes on, but he hurt himself with the combine. We'll see how he does with his pro day.
Which could actually benefit you, because lots of times, you know, players, there is that type of player who is a terrible, you know, is terrible when it comes to drills and combines. We'll put him out on the field and let him play, and all of a sudden the instincts kick in.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, of course. You can't just measure a guy off of. Yeah.
It's that whole thing about, I test poorly, but I'm as smart as a whip. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can't just judge a guy off of a 40 time and a cone drill. I think it's a tool, but it's not how you should assess a player. But it does. We know it does. It does influence where players go in drafts. So it's why fans pay attention to the combine. We could have our opinion. Like somebody who watched the combine may still think Andrew Thomas is the best tackle. But it's undeniable that it's very possible it affected his draft position because we don't make the selections. Mm-hmm. So, but I agree with you. You know, Alton Robinson is certainly a guy that we could have our eye on later in the draft. I like him. I remember the Giants actually interviewed him after the Senior Bowl game. They showed some interest.
Yeah, and you know, I've been watching some of these. I you know, something that is sometimes it gets so cockamamie that I don't even remember the name of the guys who said it, but I remember there was one guy who was talking about Daniel Jones as being a bust, and I'm thinking, what the hell was he watching?
Oh, God, McShay. You know? You're talking about Todd McShay, probably.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I mean, I'm thinking,
he hates him.
The last thing the Giants need right now is a quarterback. You guys are fine there. Give them a line, and first of all, do not turn them into a Dan Fouts where every, you know, your pass-centric on, you know, your offense is pass-centric. You have to have a balanced attack because you've got one of the best backs, generational back in Barkley. You use that guy. You just get him a good line, and then you balance your offense. You know, you could use a receiver who could stretch the field, but other than that, your offense should be fine as long as you can, stiffen up your line.
That's it, man. We got to fix the line, and we got to get at least 3 or 4 pieces on defense. That's what the Giants got to try to do this offseason. But yeah, the offense. A lot of people worried about the wide receiver. If we're going offense, we got to fix that line before anything else, because that's where it all starts and ends. You got to have a good line.
Yeah. Now tomorrow, my baseball season starts because my baseball tryouts are at the park tomorrow. So I'm all about baseball right now. So I wanted to ask you, have you been watching your Mets?
I have. I have.
How are they looking?
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't put a lot of stock into spring training. To me, it's just about staying healthy. And you look at the Yankees; they've had a ton of injuries. The Mets have stayed healthy. I like some of the things I've read about Syndergaard. People think he could have a career year. We'll see what we got. You know, it's going to come down to the bullpen for the Mets and health. The bullpen was supposed to be a strength last year. This year, who knows? You know, it was horrible last year. They got to bounce back. That's what it'll come down to for the Mets. But I'm excited like I am every year for baseball, and the Mets have a lot of talent. It's just a matter of staying healthy and seeing where it goes.
Well, your starting rotation should have you in contention right off the bat, like you said. It's your bullpen. Our bullpen, we gotta solidify that. That's what hurt us last year. We won like 109 games. We could have had 120 with the number of games that Kenley Jansen blew. So think about how many we could have won. But I'll tell you what I like about our spring training is that we get to see guys who might be helping you down the line. Like last year, we had 3 or 4 guys who, when we called them up, they performed, right? This year, it seems like we've got an offensive line out there that's just performing and who could come in and help us. And we got 2 guys, actually 3, right? Cody Thomas, Luke Raley, who we got in the Kenta Maeda trade, and another guy named Edwin Rios.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are oak trees, man. And any one of them can come in, when we have an injury, and perform. So that's what I like watching about spring training.
Yeah, well,
our core is set.
Yeah, well, no, you guys. I mean, the Dodgers are stacked. I mean, you guys are probably the favorites going in, and I can't wait for baseball season, though, man. I really can't. I got a lot of people calling in, though, Lou, man. But I just want to say, always love talking to you. Thank you for your continued support of my channel, even though you're not a Giants fan. You always show me a lot of love. So, thank you for the call, man. And great call, man. I enjoyed talking to you, buddy.
Okay, man. Take it easy.
All right, my man. Have a good one. All right, 1 second. Just want to get to a couple of super chats. Can you just do me a favor, turn the volume down in the background? And diehard Giants fan, one of my best, man. Thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat. He says, I appreciate all the hard work, Tana. My number one source for the offseason. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And I think I got one more maybe I got to get to. Sorry, guys. New York for life, man. Thank you so much. $5 super chat. Who would you rather see get the coronavirus, James Dolan or O.J. Simpson? I got to go O.J. Simpson, but I am not a fan of James Dolan. What's going on? You're on live. Who's this?
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I still hear the echo in the background. Do you have the volume on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you turn the volume down?
Oh, okay. All right, can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, hey, this is Nikki calling in.
Oh, Nikki, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Hey, listen, I just wanted to say that I watched your mock draft, and I actually liked it. The only thing I would change is the Lions drafting Okuda.
Yeah, no, I was kind of trying to switch it up a little bit. I was kind of between Brown and Okuda, and I know most people take Okuda there. I was just trying to switch it up a little bit. But, yeah, I think most people would have Okuda. Yeah, I agree. I think probably most people would agree with you.
I have a question. What do you think about the Broncos acquiring Bouye from Jacksonville?
There was only a 4th-round pick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good pickup by the Broncos. And he was a guy that a lot of Giants fans wanted to look into as a potential pickup in a trade. It was a good pickup. I think he's only got 1 year left on his deal, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that if I was Gettleman and I knew that the Jacksonville wanted a 4th round, I would have gave it to them. And then they would have just set up the rest of the dominoes, like free agency. I would have picked up Blake Martinez, and then for the draft, you got your linebacker, you got your cornerback, then you could go offensive tackle, trade back, to the 5th or 6th position, get some more draft capital, then draft whoever you like at O-line, and then, you'll be set with more draft picks.
Yeah, no, that was a really good pickup by the Broncos, AJ Bouye. He's still at least an average cornerback, and you didn't get him for much. And the Giants could certainly look to bring in a guy like Amuka Moore on a cost-effective deal, someone like that, a veteran corner. Byron Jones, to me, I know a lot of Giants fans want him. $18 million is a lot. I mean, to me, that has Janoris Jenkins written all over it again.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that much on a cornerback, and he's probably going to get it because you look at the cornerback market right now. There's not a lot of good ones that are available in free agency.
Right. I think we should go for Blake Martinez.
Yeah, and Blake Martinez is a very good tackler. The thing is, he struggles in coverage. For the right price, I'll bring in Martinez, but it's got to be cheap. It can't be for 16, 15, 14, 13. If it's $9 million, I'll entertain it, but he's really bad in coverage if you watch the film.
What do you think he's going to command in free agency?
I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously, it's going to be whatever teams are willing to pay him. If you look on Sport Track, I think it's ridiculous. They got him for $16 million. I don't think he's getting that. I think he's going to want at least 10 or 11, though. That's for sure. And
I don't think that's a bad price. 10 or 11. I don't think that's a bad price.
I wouldn't cry if they brought him in for 10. I wouldn't cry. I don't want to pay 13 or 14. That's for sure. If we're going linebacker, though, Littleton, I think, should be our number one target.
Right. Also, I think if we do bring Clowney in, I think that we have to add somebody on the other edge, just so that way it could complement his game, and he could get those sacks up.
Well, you said Clowney? You like bringing in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if we get somebody else to go on the opposite side.
Yeah, well, you could hope one of the guys that we've already drafted progresses, a guy like Lorenzo Carter or Shane Zimenez. But yeah, I wouldn't cry if we brought in Clowney either. Somebody asked me about him earlier in the show. The only thing you worry about there, I suppose, is he's had some injury history and he doesn't get a ton of sacks. But I like Clowney. I think he's one of the better players in the league. But we'll see what they decide to do. I like Clowney though. I'm not a guy that hates Clowney. I know some people are completely against it.
Right. So as far as the draft goes, I think obviously if Chase Young is there, I mean, I might want to bring him in if he's falls to 4, which I don't think it is that he's going to be there at 4. But I think we should just trade back to 5 or 6 because, like you've been saying and everybody's been commenting, we're going to have our offensive linemen there at 5 or 6, and we'll pick up some extra capital.
Listen, man, I've been preaching that the entire offseason. I would love to trade down. Ideally, I would love to trade down to be able to, like you just said, pick up that extra capital, get your offensive lineman, then you got 2 second-round picks. That would be ideal. I would have a big smile on draft night if the Giants were able to do that. But I'd have a big smile if they took Isaiah Simmons too. I don't want people to think I don't want Isaiah Simmons. I'm just leaning offensive tackle.
Well, you think he could probably still be there too? We trade back to like 5 or 6.
No, he probably would be. If he was there at 4, he probably would be.
Yeah, so I think that's another thing we could do too. I wouldn't be mad either way, as long as if we do draft a lineman, I just hope it's not a bust like Eric Flowers.
Of course, you don't want it to be a bust, and you don't want to waste a first round pick. But I honestly think all of these guys are better than Eric Flowers. I really do. And Eric Flowers should have been a guard to begin with, but I really do like all 4 of these prospects.
And one last thing, I know I'm going to get hell in the comment section, but for the right package, I would trade Barkley because if you look at it, like this past Super Bowl, what was there? There were undrafted free agent running backs, Oh,
no. I don't even knock people for saying that they would trade Barkley. What I say is we just got to be realistic and realize it's not going to happen. I could understand people who maybe want to trade him because they don't think you build a team around a running back. You could fill other holes with what you would get. Giants aren't going to trade him, in my opinion at least. And I don't think you would get let me ask you, what do you think you would get for Saquon Barkley if you were to trade him?
The only way I would trade him, I have to get a first, which I know probably teams won't do it unless they're really desperate and they feel like they're one piece of running back away from actually contending to go to the Super Bowl. But I don't think so. Like you said, I don't think that they will.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's giving us a first because they know he's going to be hitting that second market, and they know they're going to have to pay the guy $20 million a year. So I just don't. I don't think you're getting that. That's why I don't think we're going to trade him. And I think he's a leader. I think he's a guy we're going to build a team around. I completely understand people who think it was a mistake to draft him. I am a huge Saquon Barkley guy, but I understand the mindset of you don't build around a running back. But at this point, he's on the team. And I think he's going to be on the team going forward. I that's just my opinion, though.
And I think the market for the line is crazy, so I wouldn't be upset if we go O-line either,
No, I think I agree with you. I think we need to go O-line. At some point, whether it's free agency or the draft, it's got to be our, in my opinion, our number one priority.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go because I know you got some other people calling in. I just want to say that I'm a faithful subscriber, and I appreciate all your hard work.
No, I know you are. You're always in all my streams, and I appreciate you tuning in, man.
All right, thanks for answering my questions.
You got it, buddy. You got it, buddy. Have a good one. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, this is Brandon again. Brandon Maloney, happy to call in.
Hey, Brandon. What's up, man? Good to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, good to talk to you, too. Yeah, no, I heard a bunch of your other calls. First of all, going off of that previous call you just had with somebody else, I don't know what team's having him, but I'm not trading Saquon Barkley for anything less than 2 first-round picks.
And yeah,
if Jalen Ramsey with the Rams, that's the first thing I thought of when I listened to that last one. If Jalen Ramsey with the Rams is getting all that draft capital they got for him, in comparison, I know different positions, Saquon Barkley ain't going nowhere for less than a team who has 2 first-round picks. I wouldn't even consider it. I wouldn't even consider anything else.
The minute we took Saquon Barkley number 2 overall, he's going to be a Giant. And when you get players like Saquon Barkley on your team, you don't trade them. This guy is a leader. He's a guy that when the team gets right, you could build the offense around. We're not trading. We're not trading him. For people that want to trade him, I can't say I don't understand their logic. I get it, but at the end,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, We're not trading him. You don't trade players like that. The guy is he's not only a near perfect football player in terms of being a running back. He's a perfect leader. He's a guy that leads by example. He's a guy that you want to be on your football team. They're not trading him. They're just not.
I think of him almost as like you're not selling something, but if someone says, well, come on, it's like, well, then I'm giving you a ridiculous price.
Well, yeah.
2 first-round picks and a second and something else.
Well, yeah. Oh, I lost him. I think he hung up, or I lost him. Call back in. I didn't mean to hang up on you, but yeah. To speak to Brandon's point, yeah. I mean, anybody's always available for the right price, as they say in The Godfather. You know, they made me an offer I can't refuse, but it's very hard to make an offer you can't refuse for a player like that. I think I lost him, but yeah. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go to sleep. Moose, have a great night, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna end the show in a minute anyway. I'll give Brandon a minute to see if he wants to call back in. I don't know what happened there. I think he dropped out. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, it's Kyle from Long Island. How you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, Kyle? Thanks for calling in, buddy.
So I think we're in the best position in the draft we've been in years at number 4.
Let me hear why.
Okay, ideally, we know number 1 is either going to be Joe Burrow, correct?
Yes. Joe Burrow's going 1.
Number 2,
come out and said that it's not going to happen. I won't rule it out. I'll say that. I still don't think they're going to, but I won't rule it out. Go ahead.
This is just my dream scenario. What happens for us? If this would happen in the draft, I think we would all cry and enjoy. Number 3, Miami needs a quarterback, so they're going to trade with Detroit to get a quarterback at number 3. Leaving a Chase Young falling to number 4.
Well, I know that's the dream for a lot of Giants fans, but have a great night, Stealth. I know that's the dream for a lot of Giants fans, but why in the world, if you're Detroit, would you not just take Chase Young rather than trade down?
Oh, but that's the other scenario I'm talking about. If they take Chase Young there, quarterback available, and the next couple of spots need a quarterback, we can maybe trade back to San Diego's pick.
Well, that can happen. I won't.
That's why I was like.
Yeah, I won't debate that.
No matter what, it looks like it's a win-win for us this year. Like we either leverage somebody an arm or a leg because Miami wants a quarterback, and the other 2 were previously taken in front of us. So I think we're in a great situation. Or we end up with a great player, or we trade back and get an O-lineman. I'm actually very optimistic with this offseason for a change.
I am too. I love the coach, which we haven't even talked about all night. I love the direction of the coaching staff. It's given me a lot of hope for the future. It really has. But obviously, I won't completely buy in until after the draft and see what we do in free agency and everything else. But I do like the direction of the team. I really do. I just think people need to, as I've said this entire offseason, got to be patient. You gotta let it play out. Let the plan play out. Don't expect it to be fixed in 1 year. Yeah, that's all I got to say, man. We got to be patient and let it play out.
You're a better man than me, Chris. I'm not buying anything they do until the season starts and we actually start winning games.
I don't blame you. I'm not going to say there's a great coaching staff until I see some results, but I have faith in it. I think Judge was a good hire, and I guess I'm not going to judge, no pun intended, this coaching staff for the first year, though. I'll say that. I got to give them more than 1 year. I got to give them a chance to develop the talent on the roster. But after year 2, if there's not significant improvement, then I'll start to have questions. But I have faith that they're going to get this team on the right track. I do like some of the things they've done this offseason.
Like, I was curious, just your opinions with this, offseason. I'm an advocate. I know I'm one of the very few Giant fans who say this. I don't want to pay Jadeveon Clowney all that money, because I feel like we could put it in other places throughout the team instead of committing how much per year to him.
I mean, I agree with you. People have asked me about Clowney. I've said I wouldn't be upset if they brought him in, but I've been pretty consistent this entire offseason. I would rather spread the money out. I would rather spread, unless you're getting Conklin or maybe Littleton, I'd rather bring in 2- and 3-year contracts and keep that cap space available down the stretch, because I don't think we're a team that's ready to win yet. When we're ready to win, then you make the big splashes. But I just don't think we're ready to compete for a Super Bowl yet. So I think it would be wiser to wait a year or 2.
Ideally, I would love for us to pick up 2 nice linebackers, fix that linebacking core for a price of Clowney.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
And then have a choice in the draft, like, oh, do we want Isaiah Simmons? Do we want Okudah? Or do we want to trade back, get a lineman? I want to have multiple options. I'm like, I don't want to be what we did 3 years ago when we spent all this money on so many big-name players, and a year later we were in the shithole.
Listen, it's what I say all the time, and thank you for the love, BS. $2 Super Chat. He says, good stream, entertainer. Keep up the great content. I really appreciate that, man. And I'm going to do this every Friday for you guys, going forward. But it's like what I say all the time when talking about the Giants. I want to build for a decade. I don't care about 1 or 2 years. I want to build this team the right way, and the Giants, to their credit, have started to do that, and I don't want them to get away from that. That's what I'll say, and hopefully they don't.
I'm just glad we're not in a situation like we need a quarterback or anything this season. Like, even though I think 2 of the quarterbacks coming out this year are very good, I'm glad we – like, if you were going to tell me last year to this year, because I was a big Daniel Jones fan last year, I'm so glad we don't have to be like, do we want Jordan Love, a guy who's due for more interceptions than touchdowns?
Yeah, I actually like Jordan Love, but I do like the fact that the quarterback's already in the bag, and now we have some power. We have the ability to trade down for teams that need it. I do like that. I do like knowing that we have the quarterback, and it gives you the flexibility to take the best player. Last year, we couldn't take Josh Allen. Well, we could have, but the reason we didn't take Josh Allen was because we needed a quarterback. Had we already had a quarterback in the bag, let's say we took, even though I love Saquon Barkley, and I don't regret that we took him, but let's say that we took Sam Darnold, in 18, we would have had Josh Allen on our football team. So now that we have the quarterback, we could then take, whoever we feel is the best player in the draft. So, it's good to have that quarterback.
Right. Like, I'm not expecting us to win a division this year. I'll be very honest. I'm expecting to see improvement. I would like to have a 500 record this year or better.
I would love to have a 500 record. And I won't rule it out. It's definitely a possibility. I won't rule the division out. Anything's possible. It's football. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not expecting it. And I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, too.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, if you're being fair, you shouldn't go into the year at least. Maybe 5-6 games in, we get off to a good start. You see, then maybe you change your expectations. But going into the year, just hope for improvement. Hope that this team starts to build something.
And I'm very proud that none of our defensive players went to an airport this morning. I'm very proud none of our guys got arrested for a change with guns.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams, of course, you're talking about with the New York Jets, yeah.
I'm not commenting. We have a bad history with guns with the Giants organization. It cost us the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
It might have cost us. Might have cost us more than one. It definitely cost us at least one. Yeah. Quinnen Williams, not good stuff there. You got to be smarter than that. But anything else, my man?
I just want to thank you for everything you do. You really keep me informed because working hard, finally graduated college, working full-time job. I really appreciate that you give all of me this coverage and everything, man. I just wish you were a Yankee fan and you didn't have to suffer as badly as a Mets fan. I also wish you would give up your Knick roots to come to the great city of Brooklyn and root for the Knicks.
Oh God, I will never do either.
Next season we're going to win the championship led by the great Kevin Durant.
Oh, you're out of your mind. But no, I unfortunately I will always be a Knicks fan, and I say unfortunately because it is torture. And I'll be a Met fan, and hopefully they play well for me this year. But it's tough. It's not easy, but I can't do it, man. I've been a fan of both those teams forever. But
Chris, do you mind if I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's the worst owner, the Knicks or the Mets? Who has the worst ownership?
Oh, wow. I would say the Wilpons are worse, but they're not going to be the owners much longer. They're going to sell the team because I think Dolan at least is willing to spend. He's a horrible owner, though. But I would say the Wilpons are worse. But it's close. They're both horrible.
Oh, have a great night, man. Good luck.
You got it, buddy, man. Thanks for the call, man. I really appreciate it. And I think I saw one other person calling in. I'll wait for that. Cruz on, man. Thanks for the love, man. He says, I wanted to trade back and draft Jackson over Barkley. I was told that was a dumb idea. 1 second. Just want to finish reading the super chat. He says, I wanted to trade back and draft Jackson over Barkley. I was told that was a dumb idea. Jackson and 3 second-round picks you look pretty damn good right now, Cruz. I can't argue that. Of course, the night of the draft, who knows? You're in the minority there, but I think most people were thinking one of the other quarterbacks. But I can't argue that, man. Lamar Jackson is fantastic, and I wish he was a Giant. And Mustard Bus, man, thanks for the love, man. $3 super chat. He says, "Entertainer, what's going on, Mustard Bus, man? Thanks for popping in. We're gonna be live for. I'll probably go another 20 minutes. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, Chris?
Sam? What's up, Sam?
Remembered.
I remembered. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I just wanted to ask why I follow a lot of Giants pages on Instagram. I wanted to know. Well, a lot of people are saying we should spend all our money this year because something's happening to the cap next year, something with $40 million. And I wanted to know why people think we should go and spend everything this year instead of saving it.
Well, you could still spend this year and have it available next year as long as you spend it on short-term deals like the Colts did. The Colts signed a couple of one-year contracts. I expect the Giants to spend their money, but they could spend them on deals that they could get out of after this year. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to get that $40 million. It's not just like the Giants are, so everybody's going to have that ability. The way I look at that is this. Yeah, we're going to have another $40 to spend, but so is everybody else, and that just means that the player salaries are going to go up. Because right now, you have $200 million to get, if that's what the projected price is going to be. So let's just say approximately the salary cap right now is $200 million. You have $200 million to spend on 53 players. Now you're going to have $240 million to spend on 53 players. So that's a 20% increase in the salary cap. That means every one of those players is going to expect a 20% increase. So I don't really look at that. It just means that the players are going to make more money. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be able to bring in more players.
Mm-hmm. And I probably am one of the only people that think this. I want to spend big in free agency this year. I think our offense is good enough to win now. I think we're a tackle away from our offense being really good. And I think if you get people like a Clowney, a Byron Jones, and then you draft an Isaiah Simmons, your defense is really good. And then you get Connolly back that was playing really well until he got injured.
Hey, we'll see, man. If they brought in 2 or 3 big impact players in free agency, we could be a playoff team. I wouldn't rule it out. We play in a weak division. I just don't want to tie up our salary cap, man. That's what I'm worried about long term. I want to build. I know. I completely understand why people want to just go for it right now because it's the first time we've had cap in a very long time. 3 years. I guess it's not that long, but and I get it because we've been so bad. But I do not want to do what we did in 2016 and then regret it. I want to build this team the right way for 10, 12 years. I don't care about one season. I care about being competitive over 10 or 12 years. And if those guys don't work out, then you have 3 5-year deals on the books, and then you have to keep Daniel Jones. You have to keep Saquon Barkley. So got to be smart. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Byron Jones is going to be a lot of money. That's $18 million he wants right now at the cornerback position.
And then let's say 22. That's what, $40 million between 2 defensive players this year.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't know about you, but I'd kind of expect the playoffs if we were to go out and spend that much on a bunch of big name players.
I agree. They better if they went out there. What did you say? You said Byron Jones, Davion Clowney, and who else?
And I don't know who else. Let's just say Littleton.
Oh, they better make the playoffs. They better make the playoffs. If they did that, they better make the playoffs.
I don't know. I think Jones is. I don't want to give him too much hype because then if he doesn't live up to what we want him to, and then we're all going to be disappointed. But I think he, out of any other quarterback, can do what Murray or Mahomes did, just with a better offensive line.
God, I don't want to put that kind of. I mean, Pat Mahomes is arguably the most talented quarterback who's ever lived. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Daniel Jones. I just want him to be good. I don't even need Pat Mahomes. Just be good. Build a good team and be good. I don't need you to be Pat Mahomes. I don't need you to be Aaron Rodgers. Be a good quarterback. And let's fix the offensive line. Let's fix the defense. We got Saquon Barkley. Let's go to work. Right now, if we're being fair, you can't put Pat Mahomes and Daniel Jones in the same sentence.
But I think Pat Mahomes also went into a lot better of a situations than Daniel Jones did.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the smartest offensive mind arguably in the whole sport.
And other than that, he had, at the time, one of the best running backs in the league, Kareem Hunt, before he went and decided to play kicker for a night. He had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I think Jones could be really good. I don't want him to be one of those guys that kind of like what the Cowboys are thinking with Dak this year, if he's worth bringing back for so much.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man. But we gotta be patient, build the team the right way. That's all I'm saying, man. I know a lot of fans want to jump the gun, and I get it. We'll see what happens in free agency. I don't think they're gonna do that. From everything Maris said, I don't think they're gonna do that. They said they're not gonna go hog wild in free agency, but they've told us they're not gonna trade Odell before, so anything's possible. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But anything else, Sam?
No, I just wanted to stop in and say what's up.
I appreciate the call, man. I do. I appreciate the support on the channel, too. Thank you.
Have a nice night.
You too, buddy. What's up, RD706? We're gonna all right. This is a good way to, I think, close it out. Maybe we'll take one more after this. But, of course, what would a call-in show be without hearing from Chris Sinor? What's up, buddy?
You gotta close it out with me, you gotta close it out with me. But, yeah, I don't want to keep you on. Just like a short call-in. First off, it's not sports related, but if anybody has like lights in their patio or something like that, or like a bunch of lights or like something like that, can you turn them on? Because I'm trying to look at the stars right now, but because of the light pollution, I can't look at them. So if you could turn down like your lights in your backyard, it's a big favorite for us astronomers. But either way, I don't know if you heard about Austin Eckler.
I did. I did. 4-year deal, $20 million or something like that.
24.5 million. Yeah. You want to hear a crazy fact? The Chargers have acquired two really good players, by spending $1 million in cap space. Leaves us at
because you traded Okung.
Yeah. So $1 million, and we got 2 all-star players. What I would say, all-star players. So $1 million. It's just I'm blown away from that. We didn't even spend that much money. So now, if we cut Gordon, we cut a bunch of other players, we'll have more than 22 million, I believe, 22, 23 million that we can save. So 74, 76, 77, something like that for the Chargers. So, yeah, but, since it's not a Chargers program, let's go to the Giants. The Giants, I don't know if you heard the report, but, I already told you last week, the Jack Conklin not signing with the Jets.
Yeah.
Do you want to go after Conklin now? Do you kind of want to go after him now?
I still would. Yeah, I would still. Now, the problem with Conklin is Conklin's going to get $20 million a year. He's going to get paid because everybody needs him. Everybody, he's by far the best offensive lineman available. It's so rare that a player as young as him, as talented as him at that position, hits the open market. He's going to cost $20 million. So you're going to pay for him. But, yes, I would still be open to signing Conklin.
Yeah, I want the Chargers back in, but people are saying trade Barkley. That's one of the stupidest comments I've ever heard in my life. And I apologize my language, but the gloves are off. No, you can't say you're trading your best player for a bunch of draft picks. Now, that's like some Miami type stuff. No, it's the New York Giants. Who trades their best player? Like, why would you do that? Like.
Well, to be fair to him, we did trade Odell Beckham, but there was a reason for that.
Odell Beckham, no, Chris. Odell Beckham is a bum. Okay, I'm sorry, Andy. Odell Beckham is a bum. Okay, wide receiver's not gonna win you games. Okay?
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I was not upset about trading Odell Beckham, but we're not trading Saquon Barkley. I agree with that. I say that all the time. We're not trading Saquon Barkley. It's not going to happen.
A running back like Saquon can actually win you games. You guys are lucky to win 3-4 games in 2018 just because of Saquon Barkley. So, whoever says trade Saquon Barkley, as Bobby Woodruff would say, you can shut your butthole or pie hole or whatever he says. So yeah, I'm out, Chris.
All right, so man, I appreciate.
Also a reminder: please turn off all your patio lights. The astronomers are trying to look at the stars. And yes, that's all I gotta say.
All right, Sinor, you lunatic. Thanks for the call, buddy. Oh man, I'll wait to see if I get one more call. I think I saw one person trying to call in, and then we'll call it a night. But thank you to everybody for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it, guys. I always have fun doing this, and I know it's probably a slower night because we didn't have the combine this week, but I'm just trying to get the routine down. I'll definitely do it next Friday as we're 2 days. I think that's 2 days before free agency next Friday, so I'll definitely do it then. I'm definitely going to be live the day of free agency, whether it's a Q&A, whether it's a call-in, to talk to you guys about it, man. So I'm really looking forward to it. And, this will be a lot more consistent now that the draft is getting closer, and it's a really exciting time in the offseason. Bum, give this 11-year-old some milk and cookies and send them to bed. But thank you guys. I guess we're going to call it a night. It's 11:30. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the love and the support, watching the call-in show, all the donations, all the calls. We got one more. Unknown caller. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, glad I got you in time. I was switching in and out because I was working while I watched you.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I'm glad you got in, man. What's up, buddy?
First, let me give you a compliment. You remind me, because I'm like 47, you remind me back way a long time ago when WFAN was starting and they were all local guys talking local sports,
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Second, not so much a bone to pick with you, but going back to this Nate Solder criticism, anyone who's going to criticize that move has to tell you or me, whoever, what he should have done instead of that. Because the options were Nate Solder or Eric Flowers. I mean, realistically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I've said, it was a bad move, but I've said all along that I understood the move because they had to make it. They were forced into making a move to get a tackle. So
yeah,
I don't bash him for that move. It was a bad move, but I don't bash him for that.
Well, no, I can't call it a bad move. I call it a desperate move. I think it's a better.
Yeah, that's a better word for it. That's a good word. Good word.
People don't realize the gaping hole in talent that Jerry Reese left on this team. Wasted the last 4 or 5 years of Eli Manning's career, basically. And look at the guys that Reese drafted. The ones that work out get injured all the time. Beckham, Ingram, and there's no depth. So I'm not saying Gettleman's perfect, but he's gotten guys the last 2 or 3 years. He's done pretty decent drafts. He freed up all that money in the salary cap. If you go back to the pattern in the cap that we're going to have with Reese, this money wouldn't have been here.
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. You're absolutely right about that. That's one thing that I don't think people give. The people that hate Gettleman. That's one thing that I think he deserves credit for. He did create cap space for us. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and then the last point on this upcoming draft and free agency, I agree with you. Conklin will be the guy to get because he's young. He only had one major injury, I think, as a pro, so he's not injury prone. I'd pay whatever you had to pay. He's the big guy. You don't even drop $20 million on him because it's when it comes down to it, they have the cap space. And even with getting him though, if you're going to sign him and that frees up your first round maybe to go for that linebacker or not, but one of your first 2 picks should still be another tackle to replace Solder next year. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't cry about it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cry about it. Yeah.
So they have to fix this line. I mean, I know defense wins champion. Everyone says that, but you can't win a championship if your quarterback is getting bulldozed by the other team's defense.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, you look. Somebody asked me this the other day about look at the Chiefs. I said, I look at the Chiefs. You look at their line. They took their best offensive lineman. They took 3rd overall in the draft. I think it was 2nd or 3rd overall in the draft. If you go back 6-7 years, offensive line's important. You need an offensive line. That's just common sense.
Yeah, and you need to keep building your offensive line. So even if you got 2 or 3 good guys and 2 or 3 okay guys, every year you got to draft a guy to replace the guy you can't re-sign or whatever. I mean,
look what the Eagles have done. What the Eagles. I mean, they drafted a guy that didn't even start for them last year in the first round on the offensive line. So, I agree with you. You always need to keep that offensive line young and with depth, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, I mean those are my major points. People keep harping on, well, the money he shouldn't spend this money on that guy or whatever. It's not our money. If the cap space is there and it's a decent move, I'm okay with it. And then the last thing, so I know you wanted to go, the Leonard Williams thing, I don't think he should have done it in a sense, or at least not for a 3rd rounder. Although there was a stat I looked up for someone where the average, Leonard Williams has already, how do I put it? You remember you did that thing with offensive linemen and first round versus 5th round?
Yeah.
Well, I did something like that with defensive line when we were talking about Leonard Williams, okay? And the average third-round pick, if you draft a defensive lineman, that guy is out of the league within 4 years.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, a lot of third round. But I like Gettleman, okay? I can't defend him for that move because you could have just waited. He was going to be a free agent.
No, that's why I can't do. That's why I agree in that sense. But as far as retaining him, the guy, when you look at him coming into that team, and all the Giants, all those rookies started playing better because he plugged up the middle. Yeah,
I don't doubt that. Leonard Williams definitely had an influence on Dalvin Thomas. Dalvin Tomlinson was good all last year, but he played even better after Leonard Williams got here. I agree with you.
I would resign him unless you can get a cheaper as good option, but that's tough because he ranked, I don't know if it's Pro Football Factor or whatever. They said he's like a top 5 run stopping, stuff the middle defense. Like he's a classic nose tackle, Leonard Williams. Not even though he pressures the quarterback, he's an actual nose tackle. I don't know if you know the difference between a regular DT and a nose.
Of course, yeah.
But
he's a guy that has versatility too, you know, and I think that's something that Joe Judge likes. I think he's going to be back. It's just a matter of is it going to be on the tag or is it going to be on a 4 or 5 year deal? But I think he's going to be back.
Yeah, I don't know which way to go, but I like to see him back. Just at least to hold the gap for a few years so we can maybe develop a guy to replace him if he proves not to be as successful as we want. You know, so that being said, hope we have a good draft, a good free agency, and again, keep it going, man. I'm glad to see a local guy working his way up in the sports stuff, and so.
I really appreciate that, man. Thanks for the kind words, man. I'm glad I got to talk to you, and thanks for the call. And I'll be doing this every Friday, so hopefully you call in next week too, man.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
You got it. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys. Now we're going to call it a night. And I had a lot of fun. I got to talk to a lot of you guys tonight. Now I'm seeing my green screen. It looked crazy tonight. But you guys are here for the call-in show anyway. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for being here and being great callers. Even though it was a slow night, it was a lot of fun. You guys are the best, man. Let's go Giants, guys. Have a good night, guys.